evening, everybody. My first topic for the night is the 1.5 off schedule for our classified members. Spirits were very high and members were rejoicing in having received their one-time off schedule payment. There were also those that did not receive a one-time off payment. Members that were a part of the 2024-2025 school year that had left the school through retirement or other means did not receive the off schedule payment. I now ask the board to help CSEA find a resolution to help those members out. For my second topic, CSEA looks forward to the 2025-2026 negotiations. Our negotiations team is eager to help grow and strengthen the relationship between CSEA with our union through language. We are hopeful of a fast resolution. On my third topic, I'm happy to report that CSEA Chapter 42 has started reaching out to board members to help grow and strengthen relationships. It is nice to know that our voices can be heard and that our members can be seen. Thank you all. That concludes my report.
Thank you so much. Okay, the time is 7:04 p.m. and I will call this meeting to order. Madam Superintendent, will you please call the roll?
Yes. Trustee Urtiaga.
Present.
Trustee Castaneda Calleros.
Present.
Trustee Lopez.
Present.
Trustee Canchola.
Here.
Trustee Rodriguez Moisa.
Here. All right, next we'll move to Pledge of Allegiance.
Was any action taken during closed session?
Oh, I'm sorry. And the board did meet in closed session, but there is no reportable action to report out. Thank you. Okay, so now Pledge of Allegiance. Ms. Conchola, will you lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
Please stand. Put your right hand over your heart. Raise your hand.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And Dr. Oviedo, we typically have you do the land acknowledgement, so let's have you do that again, but I'm going to warn our board members, and I think one of us should try to read it next month. But Dr. Oviedo, if you don't, please.
The Whittier Union High School District acknowledges our presence in the traditional ancestral land of the Gabrielino Tongva peoples, which includes the villages of Chokishna, now Santa Fe Springs, Sihat, now Los Nietos Whittier, and the village of Sijitna, now Whittier-San Gabriel River area. This land remains unceded territory. Whittier Union High School District honors and respects the Gabrielino Tongva ancestors and their connection to this land.
Madam President, I'll volunteer for you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. All right, let me go to our next item, which is item 5, performance. Dr. Oviedo.
Yes, I am so pleased, I think many of us are, to see all of these wonderful faces of our Santa Fe High School mariachi in their first year under the leadership of Mr. David Juan.
All yours.
Good evening, everybody. Nosotros somos
Mariachi Los Dorados.
And we're going to start off with a song called Cielito Lindo. We hope you enjoy it. 1, 2, 3.
just want to thank you for all your support in starting the mariachi program. As you can see, the community is excited about it. The kids are excited about it. Couldn't have done it without your support and the coaching staff, like we were talking before the meeting. And I'm just thrilled to be a steward of the culture and the music, and excited to be a part of what could be something amazing for Whittier Union. So thank you again.
Would you have the students introduce themselves so at least we get to know their names?
Yeah, absolutely. Kaylee, do you want to start? And we'll just come down the front row.
Kaylee, I'm in 9th grade.
I'm Alicia and I'm in 9th grade also.
I'm in Gabriela, I'm a 12th grader.
I'm Eric, I'm a 12th grader.
Mike, I'm a 12th grader.
I'm Liam, I'm a 9th grader.
I'm Sophia, I'm an 11th grader.
I'm Nathan and I'm in 11th grade. I'm Elias, I'm a freshman.
I'm Juliana, I'm a sophomore.
My name is Frederick and I'm a junior.
My name is B and I'm a sophomore.
My name is Eugene and I'm a junior.
My name is Javi and I'm a junior.
My name is Brisa, I'm a senior.
My name is Ariana and I'm a senior.
My name is Isaiah and I'm a senior.
My name is Adam and I'm a freshman.
My name is Andres, I'm a senior.
My name is Michaela and I'm a freshman.
It has been our tradition to allow the board members to say a few comments. I know we have a very long meeting, so if anyone would like to make some comments tonight, please. Yes, Ms. Conchola.
When I walked out here from our other meeting that was happening in the back, in the board meeting, I saw you and I literally have chills. I am so excited. I was the one that requested the mariachi. I said we need a mariachi at Whittier Union, and so it's like having a dream come true, and I'm so excited for Santa Fe High School, but also for the possibility of having a mariachi at each one of our high schools, and how much pride, culturally, musically, community-wise, that would bring to us. And so I'm very proud of you. I feel like a very proud parent on so many levels, because I am a Santa Fe High School parent. I'm representing the colors. My son's a freshman, and but to see your young talent at all the great levels. I hope that those of you that are seniors, that you continue the music wherever you go to college, or your next steps. And Kylie, is that correct? Her name? Yeah, Kaylee, sorry. You have such a beautiful voice, Mija. Thank you for that gift for this evening. I'm just so proud of Mariachi Dorado. You're amazing. Thank you for the talent and the time that you've given to your students to get this far so quickly. Thank you.
It's my honor.
Anyone else?
Really briefly, thank you, Mr. Kwan, for your leadership, and students. You sound and look amazing. The joy is palpable, and you stirred up so many feelings of just pride and gratitude for being alive to see this day. Thank you.
Mr. Lopez?
Yes, a couple of things. No que no.
No, que sí se pudo.
No que no. Exactly, sí se pudo. Congratulations, Mr. Huang. Thank you for putting a great team together. And Isaiah, I see the guitarron there. Awesome. Thank you for that. Appreciate it. Take care.
Alrighty then. So we're good.
I would just want to reiterate what my colleagues were saying, that we're so proud to see what you have done, and thank you very much for sharing your gifts with us.
And I will just end with saying ditto, 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 echo, echo, echo. Congratulations, keep it up. Thank you, Mr. Huang.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. All right, so moving on to item number 6, approval of the minutes. Do I have a motion to approve the minutes for February 10, 2026 meeting? Special meeting? Moved by Ms. Conchola, seconded by Mr. Lopez. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That passes 5-0. And then the next item 602, do I have a motion to approve the minutes from the February 10, 2026 regular board meeting?
So moved.
Moved by Dr. Castaneda Calleros.
Second.
Seconded by Ms. Conchola. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Passes 5-0. All right, next, moving on to item number 7, approval of the agenda. Do I have a motion to approve the agenda for tonight's meeting, March 10, 2026?
So moved.
Moved by Ms. Conchola,
Second.
seconded by Dr. Castaneda Calleros. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Passes 5-0. All right, the reason we went through that so fast is that we're super excited to get to item number 8, which is teaching, learning, recognitions, and presentations. I'll pass this on to Dr. Oviedo.
Yes, and we're excited to have 2 recognitions today and to share with us about all of these accolades, Mr. Campbell, principal at Santa Fe High School.
Good evening. Okay. Can you okay? All right, so the first opportunity I have tonight is to recognize an outstanding student. So we are going to start with that, and hopefully by the time we're all done with that, our cheer team will be here. They're finishing a stunt competition. Okay, so good evening, esteemed board members, cabinet, and Superintendent Dr. Oviedo. It's my honor to be here tonight to share a wonderful Santa Fe High School student with you all. I would first like to acknowledge all the members of the Santa Fe High School staff that are here. I see some counselors, interns, administrators. If you're Santa Fe, please stand real quick and be recognized. We know that we can't present to you students like this without staff like that, and so we're here. Itzel, come on up. Itzel Iniguez, our student, come on up and say Itzel was a gift to WUHSD Union. She comes every day from Southgate. She was supposed to be WUHSD. She has an aunt that lives in Norwalk that told her, if you want better opportunities, WUHSD Union is the place, and Santa Fe is the closest place. She's not your average high school student. She's taking advantage of every opportunity that we've given her, including being engaged in academics, immersed in athletics, and leading and participating in school activities. She's demonstrated a remarkable commitment to her school community through sustained involvement in a wide range of extracurricular activities across all 4 years of her high school experience. She's been a dedicated member of AVID since 9th grade, embodying the program's college preparatory mission through weekly tutorials, and if you're familiar with AVID, binder checks, and everything that comes with it. She has a consistent academic focus. As a 4-year member of the Interact Club, she's grown from a participant to secretary and now serves as president, organizing volunteering events and leading her peers in community service initiatives. Itzel has also been an active member in the STEAM Club, where she served as catapult captain in her junior year, participating in science competitions, including the Science Cup. Additionally, she's contributed to the Spanish Honor Society, Women Achievement Greatness, National Honor Society, and Link Group, where she's helped welcome and orient incoming freshmen. Itzel is an exceptional student athlete, or athlete student. You can interchange them depending on what I'm talking about. All 4 years of high school, she's done sideline cheer and competition cheer. As a senior, she serves as a varsity cheer captain and has earned outstanding recognition, including tonight's celebratory CIF championship and 2 national championships. She's also competed in stunt, where she served as varsity captain her junior year. Itzel's commitment to serving others extends well beyond school campus. Over 4 years, she's accumulated hundreds of hours volunteering at elementary schools, chaperoning field trips, assisting teachers in the classroom, and helping set up classrooms before the school year begins. She served as youth in foster care at Christmas parties, raised funds for indigenous artisans through Pulsera Project, while translating for Spanish-speaking families on campus as needed. She assisted with Honor Guard during senior events last year. Most recently, if you've been to PIH, you may have seen her. She's logged over 45 hours where she helps transport patients and deliver meals, a testament to her compassion and dedication to her community. And we're not done yet. Her academic excellence has been consistently recognized throughout her high school career. She's earned a place on the principal's honor roll for 7 consecutive semesters by maintaining a GPA above 4.0. She's been recognized each year as part of our top 100. She was named Student of the Year last year in her junior year for outstanding effort and achievement in honors math analysis. As a student athlete, she's earned Scholar Athlete distinction multiple times for maintaining a GPA over 3.0 while competing and receiving the Coaches Award and the Chieftain Cheer Award for her leadership and spirit. She also earned the Service Learning Award for completing over 50 hours of community service in a single year. And she does all of this while graduating with a 4.38 GPA and having completed 15 AP honors courses. Proud first-generation college student. So now the only question I left for you all is, what is this bright young mind going to do next? She is a posse winner, which means that all her tuition is being paid for, and you're not going to be surprised when I tell you she'll be at Pepperdine and 12. Plan to study biology, hopes to become a doctor or a nurse. And to her family, quiero agradecer a la familia Enríquez por compartir a su hija con nosotros. Estamos muy orgullosos de ella y sabemos que hacer grandes cosas en su vida. Because of her strong work ethic, incredible personality, drive, unparalleled desire for success, we know that she's going to be successful no matter what she does. Itzel, we are very proud of you. Thank you for being with us this evening. You're an amazing young woman. You exemplify everything we want from graduates of Santa Fe High School and the Whittier Union High School District. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Itzel Enríquez.
Good evening. My name is Itzel Enríquez, and I am a senior at Santa Fe High School. I would like to start by thanking the superintendent, Dr. Oviedo, and the Whittier Union High School District Board of Trustees for honoring me tonight. It is an honor to receive this award. I would like to extend my gratitude to Mr. Campbell and Santa Fe High School. I am grateful for the opportunities, experiences, and memories I have had here over the last 4 years that have helped shape who I am today. Graduation always felt so far away growing up, so it is crazy to think that it's only 12 weeks away. Santa Fe is my second home and truly holds a special place in my heart. So graduation is going to be very bittersweet for me. Being a chief has taught me the value of dedication, leadership, and community. I am proud to have contributed to my campus spirit through not only academics, but also athletics and clubs. I would like to recognize those who have provided guidance, kindness, love, and support towards me during my time here, starting with my counselor, Ms. Ramirez Hollingshead, my cheer team coaches and athletic director, Coach Christina, Ms. Hughes, and Coach Cassie, and lastly, my Interact Club advisor, Mr. Wise. Each of these individuals has played a significant role in making Santa Fe High School truly special to me. Above all, quiero reconocer a mis padres y a toda mi familia que me ha apoyado en mis esfuerzos. Mis padres siempre han hecho que mis sueños sean una realidad. Mi dedicación no sería posible sin la constante determinación de mis padres y mi familia que están detrás de cada paso que doy. Mis éxitos y logros son gracias a ellos. Thank you all for making this experience unforgettable.
Fellow colleagues, any comments you'd like to share? Mr. Lucas wants to start.
Sure. Congratulations, Itzel, on your success. You are making and sustaining history at your high school. Continue carrying that powerhouse leader designation everywhere you go, in college, in your workplace, and throughout your community. And happy Women's History Month.
Thank you. Thank you. Mr. Ortega.
Yes, I also want to congratulate you. You hit the 3 A's, the athletics, activities, and academics most importantly, and you've done a great job, so congratulations and making your family proud. I can see it in their eyes, they're very proud of you, and we wish you continued luck once you leave high school and into college, and are excited to hear the things that you're going to do as an adult. And I really like the blinged out jacket. Congratulations.
Thank you. Dr. Castaneda Caliendo.
Thank you, Madam President. Itzel, congratulations, felicidades, and Mr. Campbell, before I forget, thank you for your bilingual introduction. It was very thoughtful. And Itzel, I echo my colleagues' kudos to you. I just want to thank you for on top of everything you do and everything you excel at, because not too many students can say they were a captain of the CSEA championship winning team. That is amazing. You can take that with you forever and ever. But thank you for volunteering hundreds of hours the way you did it. That's such a shining example. But it's very appropriate that you're blinged out because you shine. And I think we're going to take that shine with you to Pepperdine and be with the waves and succeed. And then a la familia de Itzel, gracias por su sacrificio. Es muy obvio que usted ustedes hicieron una base sólida para su éxito. So, felicidades. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Conchola.
It says, you know, as you continue to blossom and grow, you know, and you become a professional woman, which I know you will, people are going to start asking you, because we value, you know, so many material things. How much money do you make? You know, and the way that I define the value of life is by how many lives you touch within your lifetime. And so already, as a high school student, you know, you've given so many hours of your dedicated time and your energy and your passion to making a difference in other people's lives. And so you're already leaving a very important, you know, difference in this world. And so I want to thank you for that. And I want to, you know, send you a lot of blessings as you continue to move forward in your academic path. I know this is just the beginning for you. And so, you know, best of everything to you, and continue shining with your little bling bling, because you deserve it. You are a queen already.
Thank you.
A los papás de Itzel les quería dar las gracias por apoyar a su hija en cada paso. Es evidente que ustedes han estado allí apoyándola, dándole su amor, dándole su apoyo y compartiendo esa visión que tiene ella de seguir sus logros. Los logros de ella son los logros de ustedes. Así es que les doy muchísimas gracias por ser unos padres que realmente son activos en la vida de su hija y que sigan continuando en su caminata a algo mejor, en una vida mejor, porque todos esos ustedes son su reflejo. Muchas gracias.
It's always hard following my colleagues, but what I want to say a couple things is, while your principal was introducing you and while you were speaking, we have the benefit of seeing the reaction of the people in the audience about what they were hearing. And the love and affection that was shown from the Santa Fe team to you was immeasurable. I know you feel it. I felt it from all the way over there. So thank you to the team at Santa Fe High School for all that you have done to support our students. This is why this board does this work, as you know, is to support you in the work that we do for our students. And to los padres también, muchas gracias. And I'm wondering, where's your aunt? Is your aunt here, the one who told you? All right, Auntie, Deanna, yes! Well, thank you so much for all you do for all of us in our community, and I hope that you come back to your area, the Santa Fe area, and give us back of your talent. When you're, wherever it is it may take you. Congratulations.
Thank you.
So we're going to take your photo first.
Okay. Thank you so much.
All right, we're going to have our board come in.
You know what? I don't have my bling.
I extra yeah, I get
How do we look?
Okay, I'll count it for you right here. 1, 2, 3. All right, and then I'm just going to move out of the way for anyone else.
1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
If we could now have all of Itzel's family come on over, we'll take a photo.
All right, everybody right here. Are you happy, everybody? Okay, perfect. On the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Keep it going. Okay, stay right there.
Get ready. 1, 2, 3.
Everybody Santa Fe, Santa Fe, family. The picture with it, everybody Santa Fe staff.
Santa Fe, stay right there. We're here. You go Santa Fe. Right
We have a separate presentation. For a while.
No, because we're going to do that separate. We're going to do that.
I guess guys, these are our county managers, just so you know. This is Gabby, this is Danny, this is Dr. Cardinal, and this is Gabardi. Nice to meet you. Informally met you.
Yes, nice to meet you.
Okay, stay right there. Just we have
1, 2, 3.
right here. One more. And we have one more photo. It's going to be detailed with all of the Santa Fe counselors, administrative team, any teachers who are here to support.
We still have to do that.
I might not change it, Monica. I'm going to text you.
You have her. Get close. And then let's just make sure the emails beside her. Oh, we have more coming. Okay, everyone, right here on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay, I'll move out of the way. Stay right there. Big smile.
All right, 1, 2, 3.
Okay, we're not done with Santa Fe High School yet. Where's Miss Controller? She's back there, socializing? Oh, no, you check in the first. I don't want to start without her. No, that comes after.
Did it get passed out?
The student report, yes.
Oh, thank you. I'm going to borrow cameras.
All right. I didn't want to, obviously, we're still on Santa Fe night, and I wanted to make sure Ms. Conchola was here, as, you know, she, her son goes to Santa Fe High School, and she would be very upset with me if we continued this time when she wasn't here. So, Mr. Campbell, please.
No problem. So next, we're going to keep the celebration going, and I'm going to turn it over to Jenny Hughes, who's our cheer advisor and our athletic director.
Good evening. Sorry we're late. We had a stunt match at Cal High.
You were not late. You were right on time.
Perfect. Good evening. It's been a joy working with this group. Though working doesn't quite cover it. They practically live in my classroom. We set a goal 4 years ago to reach the top, and today we stand here as CIF champions and three-time USA national champions. Beyond the trophies and endless practice hours, these athletes are the soul of our school. They show up for everyone else, they excel in the classroom, and they lead with heart. We are so grateful to our parents for their unwavering support. We have the best parents in all of the districts. But most importantly, none of this would be possible without the magicians who lead them every day. Please help me welcome my amazing coaching staff, Christina Shaw and Cassandra Taylor.
Hi everybody, my name is Christina Shaw and I am the head coach. This is my 4th year at Santa Fe High School. Before I introduce the girls, I just wanted to thank the support system that we have. I've been coaching cheerleading for about 25 years now. I know I'm very young. And it's been a passion of mine, and I think, and I have to say, the success of Santa Fe is due to the support. The support from our administrators, from Mr. Campbell at the top, Mr. Weiss, who's our cheer dad, and Mr. Fernandez always coming and popping into our practices. Our cheer advisor is the athletic director. Cheerleading is a sport, and it's an amazing opportunity for women. You see excelling in her grades. All the counselors know who I am because my girls do everything in their power to make sure that they are eligible, their grades are great, their practice schedule is what it needs to be, and they are involved in many clubs and groups on campus. So their success is more than just cheerleading. It is all around their athletic abilities and their academics. So I just wanted to thank the support that we have at Santa Fe, and it was a big, crucial part to what we're building there. So thank you, everybody. Is Michaela Alvarez. Giselle Presenio. Alia Sid. Alyssa Duque. Gianna Espinoza. Mariah Fregoso. Garcia, Amory Gomez, Cameron Fernandez, Isel Beniguez, Sofia Quesada, Isabella Rivera, Audrina Robertson Benninger, Ava Rodriguez, Hughes, Torres, and Winston.
Let's go ahead and take on the house first. Let's do that, and then I'm going to have the board members make a comment after the full vote.
Do we need to scoot in more? We can make a
my bella.
Wait, why do we some of those have time? Oh. That's okay. Thank you. Yes, I'm just Whoops, that's the wrong one.
Hello, national champion.
Now the second row, just a little bit. Oh. Okay, there we go, there we go. Say on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay, I will move out of the way for anyone else.
Ready? 1, 2, 3.
Wait a minute, it's cheer dad.
1, 2, 3.
Stay, because the board wants us to come in.
Everyone right here. 1, 2, 3. All right, get the giggles out of there. 1, 2, 3. Okay.
So in order for all of us to really appreciate how significant these championships are, I've asked the coaches to describe and explain to us, because most of us would not have competed in cheer, in our, as the way it is now in terms of the competition. Can you explain to all of us here what the competition means, how does it work, and how did you get the state and national champions?
So competitive cheerleading has multiple layers to it. Sideline cheer is what you see in most schools across the country, where the girls cheer for football, basketball. They perform at the rallies, the ASB, like the pom-poms, the quintessential vision of what people think cheerleading is. And then there's competitive cheer. That requires training. All the girls go through a certification in the summer. When we go to summer camp, they complete a safety course as well as the coaches. This year, I have an amazing boosters, and with their support, I was also able to get additional training for myself to make sure that I'm up on all the rules and all of the competitive things that we need to. For CIF, you can qualify in different levels. We are an advanced non-tumbling team. We do tumble, but I like winning, so we go the winning route. So the girls train for 11 months. They start June, they go dark. We follow all of the same rules as everybody else. We go dark for 2 weeks, and then they start in the summer. They complete all of their activities that they need for the sideline, but they have an additional practice to get competitive. For our division, I believe we had 13? We had 13 teams in our division, and we won the competition by like a 9-point spread. Yeah. So, yes, thank you. I believe I have 8 seniors, 9 seniors on the team, and 1 freshman, so our legacy will continue. Hopefully this isn't the last time we see you guys, and we can bring more trophies to the Whittier Union District.
Because this is the most fun part of the meeting for us as board members, I will allow, I know we have a long meeting, but do any of my fellow board members, would they like to make any comments?
I guess, I just want to, again, congratulations, this is Santa Fe's night, and to hear about all the great things, ladies, and congratulations, CAF champions. You can take that forever with you, and to all the coaches and all the volunteers, so congratulations, and to the cheer dad, we didn't forget about you. You're an important part of the team, so thank you very much.
Congratulations, champs.
Thank you, Madam President. Ladies, congratulations on such a wonderful accomplishment that you get to live with and relive, and And many of you might be back next year to maybe go for 2. So congratulations, and coaching staff, thank you for your sacrifice. 11 months, that is staggering, especially when I think about the summer heat and all of the early mornings and late nights. And families, if you're here, thank you for your sacrifice as well.
I just want to thank you for all the hard work that goes to a sport, because it is a sport. You're training, you're dedicating time, and so much energy, right? And so I wanted to remind you that you just don't bring pride to Santa Fe High School or Whittier Union. You have brought pride to our city of Santa Fe Springs, to your families. And this is something that you're going to continue to be able to say, years from now. I was part of this amazing winning team. And may you continue to apply all that to your academic path as well. And you continue to shine not just with your jacket bling, but with your beautiful talents. Thank you.
I also want to thank the families. Those of us who have kids who have been in sports, we know how much time and dedication it is. Our coaching staff, you might get like, I think, 10 cents to the hour for the stipend you get because it really is a calling and care of these young women who are going to go do a great, phenomenal thing. All our champions. I keep thinking about it. I think next year I'm going to have to get invited to a competition so I can really check it out. I love seeing the women excel in our sports programs. And so felicidades to all of you. May you excel. May you come back to the Whittier Union family and help others as well. Okay, thank you so much. And then I think continue on with the Santa Fe night. We have our student representative, Jaden Brown.
Hello everyone, my name is Jada Brown. I'm currently a senior at Santa Fe High School and I currently serve as the ASB president. So I'm more than honored to report our recent activities that are happening at Santa Fe High School as of March. So I'll go ahead and start. At Santa Fe High School, we proudly celebrate our students' achievements academically, athletically, and through activities that we host. As we reach the midpoint of the second semester, we're excited to highlight some of the most anticipated events on campus. Our winter sports season recently concluded, and we're proud to share that every winter team advanced through league and earned additional competition in CIF playoffs, even with our cheer taking home the title. Our ASB was pleased to celebrate all of their achievements along the way, and we've been excited to see this energy carry into the spring sports season. On February 19th, our academic recognition ceremony, known as Top 100, honored chieftains across all grade levels who ranked among top 100 weighted GPAs on campus. This year, we were able to recognize 36 seniors, 30 juniors, 20 sophomores, and 17 freshmen. Organized by our ASB Academics Commissioner, Marvin Covarrubias, recipients received distinguished recognition medals representing their dedication and energy to academic excellence at Santa Fe. The Top 100 event was largely organized by our ASB, and we'd like to thank our school administration, counselors, and maintenance team for helping out with the event. A beloved Santa Fe tradition, lip sync, is coming up at the end of this week, March 12th and 13th, with our dress rehearsal being tomorrow, starting right after school. Lip sync is a 2-day performance event featuring various groups on campus. Preparation started in January as student groups began the choreography, music, and production process. Lip sync has never failed to bring students together through unforgettable performances and spontaneous connections with classmates, and we're excited to see the finished performances this Thursday and Friday. Future Freshman Night, taking place shortly after lip sync, is on the evening of March 19th. Students and staff are invited back on campus to welcome incoming freshmen and their families as they prepare for an exciting Santa Fe experience. At the event, they will hear from a range of involved student speakers, watch performances, and experience their very first club rush at Santa Fe. On April 1st and 2nd, Santa Fe will be holding our Every 15 Minutes program, which we just wrapped up the application process for students, so invitations will be coming out very soon for you folks. For those of you who don't know, the Every 15 Minutes program is a powerful 2-day partnership with the California Highway Patrol, the City of Santa Fe Springs, and local first responders to simulate the real-life consequences of distracted drinking and driving. The 2-day event begins with a crash scene in front of the school, followed by a mock funeral where students are emotionally engaged in the simulated event. The Every 15 Minutes program promotes safe decision-making as students approach prom and graduation season, and never fails to be emotional yet a very educational event at Santa Fe High. Thank you.
Thank you so much to the Santa Fe High School family for being here tonight. It is truly with love and affection from our side that we have you here. We hope you continue to come to our meetings. They are, believe it or not, very interesting for most people. But we hope to see you as often as you can to hear from us and what the district is doing and the phenomenal things. And congratulations again to the fabulous young women here who achieved greatness, and you will do even more stuff. So I will move to the next agenda item.
Really quickly,
Yes.
Madam President, just want to thank you, Madam President Brown, for your report. That was very well given. I just wanted to pause and see if you had any friends or family you wanted to recognize tonight.
Yes, my family is here along with my boyfriend, so they're right there.
Alrighty, thank you so much. And then I think we're going to go to our next item.
Yes, and we know you have a busy week, and so if you want to get out,
Let's listen to that.
Okay, so now we will move to the next item on the agenda, which is community comments. Do we have any community speakers tonight?
yes, we have 2 community speakers. Our first is Tony Chavarria.
And then, as the speakers, as Mr. Chavarria wishes me up to the podium, do we care which one?
It does not matter which one.
And before he gets to the podium, whoever our next speaker is, I want to ensure that those of you who do make public comments, that the board is listening, but it is prohibited from us to respond to you directly. So I hope that you can understand that if there are comments you make, that we cannot respond directly. Thank you so much.
And Mr. Chavarria, you're going to go right over there, and what I'm going to read our statement that is in our board policy. In the interest of time, individual speakers will be allowed a maximum of 3 minutes to address the board, and the board will limit the total time of an item, public input on any particular item to 20 minutes. In order to accommodate more speakers, the allotted time per individual may be reduced.
Thank you. I'm Tony Chavarria. I went to Santa Fe High School, graduated in 1977. I have 6 brothers and 1 sister. They all went to Santa Fe. My wife and I have 3 kids. They went to Santa Fe. Our grandson just graduated from Santa Fe last year. I've been a chief for 53 years. Unfortunately, we have to move on from our mascot, and I just wanted to make a comment regarding that. In the last, several months, I've been talking to different people regarding what they would like our mascot to be, and they all have different suggestions. And my only question to them has always been, why this or why that? And several of their answers would be, it sounds cool, it looks good, it has the right amount of syllables, but this is my why. So I'll read this to you. Proposed future Santa Fe mascot. The Chiefs mascot has been in existence for 70 years. Unfortunately, California State Assembly Bill 3074, the California Racial Mascot Act, requires us to make a change. The Chiefs mascot has always been an identity for many of us, representing authority, bravery, courage, determination, endurance, fearlessness, greatness, heroism, knowledge, power, spirit, strength, valor, and so much more. In order to stay aligned with the identity that Santa Fe has known for 70 years, I have proposed the name Santa Fe Warriors. A warrior is not a race, it's an identity. There are warriors in every race. Famous warriors in history: Sonia Sotomayor, Patsy Mink, Rosa Parks, Eleanor Roosevelt, and alumna astronaut Tamara Jernigan, Cesar Chavez, Mahatma Gandhi, Martin Luther King Jr., Albert Einstein, and alumnus pro baseball player, MLB manager Mark Kotze. Warriors sacrifice themselves for the good of others. Their task is to take care of the elderly, defenseless, those that cannot provide for themselves, and above all, the children, the future of humanity. That was written by Sitting Bull. Let's not abandon what our Chiefs mascot has meant to us from the beginning. Please join me in voting for our new mascot, Santa Fe Warriors. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chapman. And our next community comment is from Lawrence Ramirez.
Is Mr. Ramirez still in the room? Yes. Oh, I'm sorry.
Good evening, members of the board and superintendent. My name is Lawrence Ramirez, and I'm here tonight representing the Whittiers High School Boys Basketball Boosters. We are a dedicated group of parents, grandparents, and volunteers who have served this program for many years. We work toward one goal, supporting the boys basketball program in Whittier High. We're here to address recent concerns regarding the board policy for parent support groups. We want to be clear, our organization operates with integrity, transparency, and respect for district guidelines. While we are an independent 501c3 entity, we view ourselves as essential partners with the Whittier High administration. Our meetings are not held in secret. School staffs are always invited and welcome to attend, as they have done so in the past. We actively share our plans to ensure our goals align with the school's mission and district policies. To ensure a clear record, we want to state that we operate with absolute fiscal integrity and remain in full compliance with district policy items number 3, the specific policy recently brought into question. As a registered 501c3 nonprofit, we are a district legal entity held to rigorous federal standards, including the filing of IRS Form 990, which serves as ongoing oversight of our fiscal responsibilities. While every booster planning session and meetings may not require a full financial review, our records are always open to any booster member upon inquiry. We believe the internal audit policy is intended to ensure responsibility to the district and students, which is a standard we meet, but is not a mandate that our private nonprofit records be made public on demand outside of established reporting protocols. Finally, we wish to address the environment in which we are currently operating. For months, our leadership and volunteers have faced persistent harassment and attempts to sabotage our organization. We are parents and volunteers. We are here because we love this program and our students. However, the level of hostility we are experiencing has moved beyond a simple disagreement into a space where we generally feel unsupported and frankly unsafe in our roles. We hope that we have full support of the board, and if there's any doubt about our compliance or our intention, we welcome the opportunity to sit down with you immediately and discuss what needs to be done. Thank you for your time.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Any other community comments?
Madam President, if we can get his contact information, we do? Okay,
Mr.
thank you.
Ramirez's contact, yes.
Very good.
Okay.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
And so now, Mr. Francef.
Good evening, family, friends, administrators, trustees, and honored guests. I'd like to thank all of my WUHSD members for joining me tonight. It is my privilege to speak on behalf of the dedicated and passionate educators who make a profound impact on the lives of our students each and every day. Before I begin, I would like to formally invite everyone at the dais to the DoubleTree in Rosemead, yay, parking there, for the WHO Award Dinner on April 22nd in order to honor Jerry Sarato. Once CTA sends me formal invitations, I'll make sure to send them out. I'm at CTA offices tomorrow, so hopefully soon. Across California right now, we're seeing teachers standing up for fair pay, professional respect, and the dignity of their work. Turn on the news and you'll see picket lines in district after district. There are currently 3 districts on strike in the state. Educators aren't striking because they want conflict. They're striking because they care deeply about profession and the students they serve. And seeing these stories on the news lately had made me think about my dad. As many of you know, my dad was a proud teacher at LA Unified for 40 years. When I was growing up, I remember him talking about the UTLA strike of 1970 And I remember begging him to walk the line in 1989. He refused, saying I had to go to school, and that's why he was walking. I remember the seriousness of those moments, the conversations around the dinner table, and the sense that sometimes standing up for your work is part of protecting it. And in 2019, after he had already retired, he came back to walk the picket line one more time. Thinking about these moments with my dad led me to thinking about something else, grief and loss. And there's a line that had stuck in my head ever since my dad passed away. Grief is proof that love existed. You grieve when you have loved something deeply. And in many ways, that idea applies to education. Teachers don't show up every day simply because it's a job. We show up because we love what we do. We care deeply about our students, we care about our classrooms, we care about the communities we serve. And in Whittier, our educators also care deeply about this district. Because of that, WSEA has tried to approach our role not as just advocates for our members, but also as responsible partners in the long-term health of the district. And one example of that is our declining enrollment fund that was created part of our agreement years ago under the leadership of Alex McKenzie. From WSEA's perspective, that fund has always been something like a break glass in case of emergency resource. It's there for a moment of true need. And while we are certainly experiencing declining enrollment, WSEA feels that we are not at the point where the glass needs to be broken. We continue to take steps in the right direction to right the Whittier Union ship while navigating turbulent seas. For many of us, especially those of us who were here in the 2010-2011 layoffs, the memories of that time are still real. Many of us remember the RIF notices that went out that year and the uncertainty they created. And even though almost all of those notices were ultimately rescinded, the damage to morale and stability were significant. Those experiences stay with people, and I am forever grateful to be in a union or in a district that does not talk about RIFs carelessly talk about RIFs. So when we talk about the financial decisions, planning for enrollment changes, we should do so thoughtfully and carefully. Stability matters, predictability matters, and the human impact of these decisions matter. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, now let me move to board reports, and I will start over to my far right, I will Mr. Gutierrez.
Board meeting number 2 for me, so it's I'm still here. Excited again, getting a chance to not only see the great things at Santa Fe High, and it's nice to be able to celebrate that with them tonight. We've already given a thank the mariachi. Congratulations on that. It's great to hear about those achievements with her, and she's going to do really great things. And the cheer recognition. So lots of things happening, and very proud that this district celebrates the schools and the accomplishments they're doing. So kudos to the district for continuing with that. I'm getting out to the sites as many little at a time, meeting people. So I'll make my rounds. I'm trying to remember names, either I know first name or last name, and at one point I'll get them both, but looking forward to try to get to as many sites and locations and stuff and visits to get the chance to meet a lot of people. A lot of great things. As part of being a trustee, we do get information about the district, and the superintendent reports out, and it's nice to read about all the accomplishments, see the stuff on social media that our school sites are doing. So makes me feel really proud that I am a member here in the district and continuing the great things that we have going on here in the district. One highlight I do want to bring up, because sometimes you don't get an opportunity, and so I want to really highlight that right now, because even prior to becoming a trustee, I was on a lot of the Whittier Union High School sites for various reasons. Either I live close to a site, or I have family members, or there's activities happening at the site. So I was on a lot of the sites over the years, but I want to highlight Pioneer High School right now, because on a recent visit over there, there's one thing that really stood out to me at that site. That site is immaculate, meaning spotless, it's clean, there's hardly a trash. And for high school, I've worked at a high school, and I know how hard it is to keep a campus clean with those high school students and just kind of doing their things, and the fields. And so walking through, and sometimes the unsung heroes at a school site is the custodial, the maintenance staff. They feel that they don't get recognized, and I want to get that opportunity, now that I have that voice piece, that I want to be able to recognize, because the standard at that school and the things that the district is doing to provide those services, that's a standard, definitely something to be proud of. But I do have some of the names of the staff now. I hope I don't miss any, and if I do, my apologies, but I do want to give a great recognition to Chris Hernandez, Martin Torres, Arturo Sandoval, and our night crew, Monica Ortega, Jeff Marquez, and Brian Perez. Great job. And under the direction of Ms. Chapman, I believe that, you know, just like your home, and when parents drop off their students to school, the first thing they see is the physical building and the outlet. And when you have visitors to your home, your personal home, you want to make sure it's as spotless as possible, and Pioneer did a great job with that, and I'm pretty sure parents are very proud to see that when they go to that school site. So one of the many things that we got going on here, great, and I know the standard that we have here in Whittier Union, that's what we want to do, and I'm sure every school site has that, and I'm looking forward to see that same thing at other school sites, and congratulations to them. But because I was thinking, what kind of notes? I don't have a whole lot because I'm just trying to get to know everybody, but that was something that had jumped out. And sometimes I felt custodians sometimes don't get recognized. They don't. They're that unsung hero. So I want to give a kudos to our custodial staff there, and I'm pretty sure every custodial staff does the same thing, and I'm proud of them too as well. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Dr. Castañeda Calleros.
Yes, thank you very much. I appreciate that report. And I'd just like to inform the board and the community that I was able to attend a couple of events lately. Was able to go to the Cardinal 75 over at Whittier High School. And thank you, Mr. Favela and your team for hosting that wonderful event in the gym. Was also able to make it over to Quarter Media, which is a fundraiser for our Whittier High School Theater Company. And being a theater dad for many, many years, I still have it in my system to support the theater company. And with that said, I attended the Addams Family Musical, which was a wonderful performance. So proud of the cast, so much fun to watch. And was able to attend, listening at those State of the District, at least part of the event, along with a couple of my colleagues. And then went to Pioneer High School for the Week Up Whittier. It was beautiful to attend that morning. And on Sunday, I had the blessing to be able to join 27,000 runners in the LA Marathon on Sunday. And I ran to raise awareness of DIPG, which is a rare form of brain cancer that was plaguing the life of young Olivia Valles, who passed away after a year-and-a-half battle with DIPG. So I was able to raise a little bit of money in her memory. And as you know, she is the daughter of Diana Salazar Valles over at Whittier High School. And so it was wonderful to see Mel Mencia and Diana over on between miles 4 and 5 cheering us on. So that was really memorable. And I just still remember her phrase, when I say her, I'm talking about Olivia Valles, who would have been the class of 2037, right? And her saying, I can do it, which a lot of us tonight have been saying, Si se puede. And it just reminds me of just the battles that we fight day in and day out and how precious life truly is. And speaking of running, I would like to announce that I'm up for re-election this fall, and I've decided that I'm going to run for re-election. And so I'm hoping that the community and the voters will have, and I'll be happy to keep serving this November. So thank you very much, Mark. That's my report. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Lopez.
Yes, thank you, Madam President. First and foremost, happy Women's History Month. I'm happy to share that I attended the prestigious Whittier 75 event. Principal Favela and the entire team did an excellent job recognizing the academic excellence of more than 75 outstanding students. Hosting the event in the gym and offering hors d'oeuvres for the attendees made it a wonderful and well-organized celebration. And congratulations as well to Whittier High School on earning a 6-year WUHSD accreditation, an incredible achievement that reflects the hard work from the educators and staff. Lastly, the Whittier elections are coming up in April. I encourage everyone who's eligible to vote in the city to make sure that your voice is heard at the ballot box. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Lopez. Ms. Conchola.
Yes, I wanted to also, sorry. I also wanted to echo felicitaciones to all the mujeres, all the women, for Women's History Month. And we really should have Women's History Year, but that's different. And with that, I wanted to also recognize that, you know, we have a superintendent that's female. We have a board president that's female. We have 2 of our cabinet members that are female. And our principals, we have such a representation in our principals. And so this is not by mistake, you know, and so there's a lot of talent in Whittier Union at all levels. And so I just wanted to really acknowledge that. Also, I did have an opportunity to go to Wake Up Riverside, which is the community, the chambers coming together, and that was hosted by our wonderful Pioneer High School, and it was so beautiful. Like, you know, the students really made it very welcoming, and people really took note of Pioneer High School. Very proud of that as an alum of Pioneer High. We also had an opportunity to go to the Los Nietos Unified State of the District for a little bit, because then we were like doing so many things one night, and then we ran literally over to Pioneer High School to celebrate all the students that were doing so well. And also, you know, a very proud moment for a lot of the parents that were there. So that was a really good place to be at. I also attended the Hispanos Organized for Political Equality's Latina History Day that happened last Friday. But I was also on Thursday, I was invited to be part of what they call a leaders circulo. 10 of us from across the state were invited to be like a think tank on women's issues. Which a big part of that was the conversation on education, and as an educator by trade, you know, I was able to contribute to a lot of that discussion. So I'm very proud of representing, you know, Whittier Union and the great things that we're doing in Whittier Union, and so for it to be shared with other, you know, other people from across the state, because they're really taking note of the things that we're doing. Also. Just Monday, I went to the LA County Commission on the Status of Women. They had a really big gala. I was invited by the vice president of their board and to attend that event. All of the supervisors for LA County had women that they recognized, and so it's a very beautiful event, very multicultural, celebrating the accomplishments of women across the LA County. I did want to just take this personal opportunity. I had a great friend that passed away, Belinda Barragan. She used to work for UCLA Government Relations Office, but then she worked for HOPE, for the Hispanos Organized for Political Equality, and just a very active woman in LA County in terms of putting forward political candidates that could really make a difference, especially for students, because she had a special place in her heart for students. We used to call her B, you know, just out of love. Her funeral services are going to be next week, and I just wanted to really just acknowledge her tonight for all the things that she did for students across California, not just LA County. Finally, I wanted to just give kudos to Superintendent Oviedo, to our cabinet, and to WCA and CSEA for working together to getting through these negotiations, because in my professional role as Puente Statewide Director of Secondary Programs, I work with districts across the state. A lot of the staffs in different districts have been rift, and right now, if we are, you know, going through so much uncertainty, we're not there, you know, and so I'm very grateful for all the collective work, and I just want to praise you all for working as a team. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I have had the pleasure, honor, and great fun to attend several district-related events, and this past month, I just looked back at my calendar and I said, wow, that was a lot of fun. So I'm just going to list them off a little bit. I had obviously breakfast with the CSEA representatives. That was a good time at Jack's of Whittier. We probably could have stayed longer if I didn't have another meeting. I loved attending the Cal High musical. It was at Whittier High School, and I think I went to every high school except for Cal High, but that was at Cal High adjacent because it was an event for Cal High. I also attended Wake Up Whittier at Pioneer High School. I went to the Santa Fe High School top tier with Ms. Bozigian. We had a great time, my first time to that event. The Pioneer High School top tier event also, where we were, luckily Ms. Conchola was my chauffeur. So we rolled up in one car. No, Dr. Oviedo drove us one time. Yes. So also went to the Silver Shields Awards dinner, where we recognized and appreciated our Whittier Police Department. And I had a chance to go to 2 State of the Districts for neighboring districts. One was Los Nietos, and the other was the El Rancho Unified School District. And what's fascinating about going to their State of the Districts, of course, is when you kind of compare, like, okay, how are we doing? And I'm happy to report, I think we compare well. But more importantly, truly, is the love that all of those families who are there at those events have for their districts. And I know we have the same event, the same love in our community. But it was great to represent. They all appear to hold us in high esteem. They were very warm with all of us who were there. I did also attend something that was totally different. My brother is a girls wrestling coach in Oxnard at Pacifica High School. And so he told me that he was going to be at the Girls Masters Wrestling Tournament at Sonora High School a couple weekends ago. And he says, hey, you should come. He's got a couple girls. And then he said, hey, you've got 2 young women from Lucerna, and 6 young women from Santa Fe High School who competed at Masters. And this is an incredible tournament. So not only you have to, and I guess you compete individually and at weight. Have any of you ever seen women do wrestling? It is incredible. I know you're a wrestler, but to see some of the gals out there, I mean, it was, oh my God, I was very, very inspired. I made it a point to meet the young ladies and their coaches and the families.
Did you learn some moves? Yeah.
You know, I almost thought about going in there, but I thought the girls would get me in a headlock and that would not be a good look, you know. But I thought about it. I mean, truly, I have some great photos of just how strong they are. And then when they pin each other, I'm like, oh my God. Anyway, it was great. So I want to recommend to anyone, whether it's boys wrestling or girls wrestling, but seeing our women compete in these sports that have traditionally been, you know, men's sports only is incredible to see. And that's going to get to a point I'm going to make in a second. I do plan, I just saw the invite, but hopefully I RSVP'd, I do plan on going to the Lucerna Principals Night tomorrow night. So if there's still a parking spot for me, I'd be happy to join. And I will attend one of the Lucerna Spring musical nights, because that's what's on my calendar for this coming month. We do have a special board meeting on Saturday. This is a board retreat, so we're scheduled from 8 a.m. to 2 o'clock. Any of you are welcome to come. I know that's how you really want to spend your beautiful Saturday morning. But I'm looking forward to all of us coming together to really talk about sort of where we are as a board, what our goals are. I know we've also put another topic on there at Mr. Lopez's request to discuss as well. Our board meeting next month did get moved up. I want to remind everyone it's not the second Tuesday of April, it's the first Tuesday. It's April 7 as opposed to April 14. But sort of 2 big takeaways. Really just, I gave my one big takeaway about how great I think we're doing as a district when I go and see what these other districts are doing and the great relationships we're building. But the other takeaway I had this month, and it came out of attending the Masters tournament for our girl wrestlers. As you know, when you talk to parents, they'll talk to you for hours about their kids, the schools, what they care, what they think can make us better. And I had the fortunate, I was fortunate enough to speak with a few parents who care so much about the facilities and the space that's available. So one of the things I started thinking about, if I haven't announced my reelection, I'll announce it next time. But what I really want us to start thinking about is a bond in 2028. That is to improve our facilities and I think that's the right year, it's a presidential election year, but we have such incredible students with so many needs in so many different areas, whether it's additional classrooms. Even though we have declining enrollment, those needs have not minimized. We still see temporary buildings that are temporary, quote unquote, after decades. And to see some additional athletic facilities and other facilities, I think would be fabulous, because there's not enough space or time for the girls to properly practice, the boys to properly practice, for all the sports that you've got in winter sports, basketball, volleyball, wrestling, and they're all fighting for the same space. The gymnasiums are adjacent to the weight rooms. And so that's just one. I'm sure once I start talking baseball and softball and tennis, and I mean, I could go on, football, girls football. So I really think that when I talk to parents about what draws them to our district, aside from our phenomenal teaching and our phenomenal staff and our phenomenal administration, they want to see great facilities. That is what wows them. And so I really want us to start thinking that in 2028, that we start thinking about a bond, and I don't know how we get that process started, but I think it's an investment in ourselves, in our community, and in our students. So that's my big takeaway for the month of March. And with that, I will pass it on to Dr. Oviedo for her superintendent's report.
Well, I will say Mr. Jamero and I do know how to get that started. We were very instrumental in 2021, so we have to walk through that. So good evening, everybody. Congratulations go to the Lucerna girls water polo team for their Division II CIF championship late last month since we last meet. Yes, and congratulations to them. They have been invited to the April board meeting to be honored for that extraordinary performance. Kudos to our personnel services team and our nutritional services leaders, Ms. Ulloa and Ms. Lara. They coordinated a first and innovative hiring event last week that attracted more than 80 prospective employees. And there will be more information on that in this weekly update, so we're looking forward to sharing that with you. We're also looking forward to hosting our first Women's Leadership Breakfast. Young Women's Leadership Breakfast on April 10 at the Azar Event Center. More than 60 student leaders across all of our campuses will come together for breakfast and conversation with more than a dozen women representing various careers, including medicine, retail, law, education, and public relations. The goal is to encourage a dialogue about career trajectory, education, successes, and challenges. And one of the challenges that many women face is this idea of imposter syndrome. And I'll share with you, all of us, including myself, definitely suffer from that. I've been asked to serve on several panels in the upcoming weeks with my alma mater, WUHSD, and so I've been asked to sit on a panel on April 29th with Dr. Pedro Noguera. And in the education world, Pedro Noguera is a rock star. And when I was asked to sit on the panel and I saw the advertisement come out, I actually wanted to cancel because I feel so intimidated to be there. Like, what could I have to say sitting on a panel with such amazing retired superintendents and Dr. Noguera? And so just knowing, I'm going to overcome that because it's the right thing to do and to share the experience of Whittier Union. But it does create anxiety in me, and I want to make sure that others in the career world of work, women, are sharing the challenges that they have and how they overcome that with our young female leaders. And so looking forward to that opportunity. This morning, Mr. Jamero and I, along with Mrs. Jones and Mrs. Chapman, met with all of the captains and lieutenants for the LA Sheriff's Department that serve at the Norwalk and Pico stations. And our goal was to really discuss better ways to coordinate the security efforts at Cal High and Pioneer High School, who are served by LA Sheriffs, in the wake of recent lockdowns. I am happy to share with you, they have shared with us, that what occurred at Cal High in recent weeks was a hoax. It's what they call swatting. There was no credible threat, and I am now at liberty, as they have finished their investigations there, to share that information with you. But it is a good reminder for all of us of how much we must take every threat seriously. And so we talked with them about different strategies for ensuring that our campuses are safe, as well as looking at ways that they can walk our campuses. In addition to that, we are doing an assessment. We're going to be conducting a comprehensive assessment of our various systems, our communication system, our networking, our cameras, door locking systems, looking at some of the best practices that are happening in partner elementary schools. That assessment is expected to take several weeks, 8 to 10 weeks to complete, but it'll give us a better understanding of the additional resources that we need to ensure a higher level of assurance and security amongst our students, staff, and families. And we do anticipate bringing you a completed report with recommendations for implementation early this summer. On our consent calendar for your approval, I want to share with you some items of note. There are some wonderful field trips that Mrs. Bowe and I would love to jump on a bus and attend, and you'll understand why when I tell you. So we have a group going on a tour to Dodger Stadium. We have a group of STEAM students that are in the STEAM program going to a Dodger game. How cool is that? We'd love to go to that. The Museum of Tolerance, which is also just an amazing interactive museum. Our students are going to that. Our Health Academy students are participating in the HOSA Leadership Conference. And we've got a group of students who are attending their Northern California college trip. They'll be visiting Cal State Monterey Bay, Berkeley, and Stanford. And we are also approving multiple on consent agreements for 22 new electric buses and charging stations, all part of our ZESB grant, which is $9.6 million. So you'll see that sprinkled throughout the consent calendar. On Thursday, I'll be traveling to Sacramento for the California High School Coalition meeting, and I'll be returning on Friday, and I'm looking forward to a special board governance meeting on Saturday with all of you, and that will be facilitated by CSBA's Ms. Luann Berman-Rivera. Next week, our schools will be hosting Future Freshman Night on Thursday, March 19. It's a great opportunity to feature their myriad programs and build connections with a class of, wait for it, 2030. The celebration of life for Mr. Yoshio Nakamura will be taking place on Saturday, March 21st in the Vic Lopez Auditorium at 2 p.m. And the event is in partnership with the Whittier High School Alumni Association, and it will be followed by a reception in the library. Our schools will be closed the week of March 23rd for spring break, with classes resuming on March 30. Finally, attached in your materials is our quarterly Williams report with no findings. And that does conclude my report.
Thank you so much. All right, next we go to the consent calendar. Do I have a motion to approve the consent items?
So moved. I'll second.
Moved by Ms. Conchola, seconded by Dr. Castaneda Calleros. Oh, did you want to put something?
No. I just want to comment. Just a comment.
Let's make a comment.
Yeah. 13.07, consider approval, accept project complete. I just want to thank the staff for hearing me out last time. There's a before and after pictures. Love it. Thank you. That's all.
All righty. All right, all in favor of approving all the items on the consent calendar, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Passes 5-0. All right, so now let's go to number item 14. Get there. Oops, hold on 1 second. Let me double check something.
14. No, there.
Folks, I think I just realized that there was, the agenda did not capture a change that I had wanted to be made. So, and I didn't just double check this here. I do need to pull an item on consent.
1304.
Which is 1304. And I believe we also need to pull, is there another one?
1315. No. 13.
Yes, 1314.
So is that you to entertain a motion to reconsider?
How does it work? Yes.
Okay, I'll move to reconsider the consent agenda approval.
Seconded by Mr. Lopez. The purpose is to allow me and Ms. Conchola to abstain. Me from the PIH Health contract and her from the Puente contract at 1314. So I think the vote has got to be to rescind,
Reconsider.
Or we could,
He motion.
I could do a fresh motion to approve the consent calendar except for 1304 and 1314.
Okay, I'll call it a substitute motion at this point.
Mm-hmm.
There's a substitute motion to approve the consent calendar without items 1304 and 1314. And I have a second from Mr. Lopez. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
That passes 5-0. All right, first we'll bring up 1304. I'll go ahead, I think I can still preside, I just will not participate in the vote. And for Mr. Urquiaga, I at times do work for PRH Health, and abundance of caution, I abstain from those votes. All right, do I have a motion to approve item 1304?
So moved.
Moved by Dr. Castaneda Calleros, do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Urquiaga. Any other discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? One abstention. 401 with Ms. Rodriguez-Moisa abstaining, referring to myself in the third person. Okay, let's now move to 1314, which is consider approval of field trip and hotel accommodations for Whittier High School blended program, Northern California College Expedition. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved. Second.
Moved by Dr. Castaneda Calleros, seconded by Mr. Lopez. All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? One abstention. So it passes 401 with Ms. Conchola abstaining. I apologize, I had thought I had made it a separate item, that was my bad. It's a 14-0. Okay, thank you all for your patience on that. So now let's move to 1401, which is review and discuss consideration of basic textbooks, first reading.
And to share with this is Mrs. Rosie Jean.
Thank you, Dr. Oviedo. This evening, we present to the board for your first reading a comprehensive proposal to adopt 11 basic textbooks. Each of these textbooks has undergone a thorough review and has been formally recommended for adoption by the appropriate subject area curriculum teams. The materials under consideration are organized as follows: 1 science textbook, 1 social science textbook, 9 world language textbooks. We welcome any questions or discussions the board may have regarding these textbooks. Following your consideration this evening, we request that these instructional materials be placed on the consent calendar for formal adoption at the board meeting scheduled on April 7th.
All right, any discussion? If not, I was going to comment, I cannot believe our high schoolers are using this kind of textbook. I'm just blown away.
That's scary.
It is scary. But, I mean, this is the level of learning that we're providing to our students.
Correct.
That's right.
Any other comments?
I had the same reaction, I was like, oh no, thank you.
For the record, I took physics for poets at Cal, just so you know. All right, so at this point, we're just reviewing, no vote needed, is that correct? That's correct. Okay, so then let's bring that back in the consent item next time, thank you. All right, now for the item we've all been waiting for. 1402, review, discuss revisions to board policies, 5,000s and 6,000s, first reading.
Madam
President,
can we just take a 5-minute break?
Yes.
I know it's going to be an extensive conversation on these. So if
Is
you
that
don't
the
mind.
desire of the board? I think this, yes, we'll take a 5-minute, I was going to say recess, not break.
Yes.
Okay, we are now back in session. And thank you to our labor partners, because I did ask them privately to allow you all to sit in the front here if you'd like, so that it's a little easier. And then, Lily-Bo, if you don't mind taking us away on this passage.
I think we're fine here.
Okay, you're fine.
All right, thank you. Okay, thank you, Irma. I appreciate it. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Today, we are going to take you on the journey of the board policies for review and adoption, the 5,000s and the 6,000s. Here we go. I could not have done this by myself. This is a group effort, and here's our group tonight. As you guys were reviewing the board policies, you saw RH and TL and AT. This is the A team and services. Why does this matter? These board policies are fundamental to our district, serving as more than just a compliance measure. They formalize our core commitments and serve in several critical areas, such as protecting our vulnerable students, advancing and promoting equity, enhancing school safety and wellness, and supporting academic student success. Parent and community highlights. These policies were not developed in isolation. Community and staff voice shaped them throughout the process. A key example of this collaborative approach is the Mobile Communication Devices Policy, BP 5131.8, which was thoroughly reviewed by the LCAP Task Force and parent advisories, incorporating direct feedback from teachers, students, and parents. Other important updates include strengthening protections, clarified enrollment, and formalizing approaches. By the numbers. Tonight, you will be reviewing and discussing 66 policies designed for strong future governance. This includes 51 updated policies reflecting current law, best practices, and 15 new policies for compliance and best practices. Customization notes 28 policies use the standard CSEA template, and 23 have been customized for Whittier Union High School District. Policies requiring adoption. Tonight's presentation highlights a combination of 4 new and revised policies: the mobile communication devices, our high school graduation requirements, graduation ceremonies, and student use of technology. Mobile communication devices is a brand new state-mandated policy. This mobile device policy is new for us at Whittier Union. Some of the key highlights for this policy are: devices are not allowed during non-instructional time and must be off in class. It prohibits using devices to violate privacy. It misuses and leads, if misused, it will lead to confiscation and discipline. Districts, Whittier Union is not responsible for lost or stolen or damaged devices. This policy applies consistently across all campuses and addresses evolving technology, including AI smart glasses. High school graduation requirements, BP 6146.1. This is a revised policy, and it is designed to formalize an existing district practice, ensuring transparency for students and families by clearly defining required course credits in core and elective subject areas. Key components to this policy that are new: 1 semester of ethnic studies for the class of, starting with the class of 2030, and 1 semester of personal finance starting with the class of 2031. Graduation ceremonies and activities. BP 5127 standardizes graduation and senior activities across all 5 high schools. The key highlight and component here is all students are required to wear a cap and gown, and students can now wear cultural adornments during high school graduation. Student use of technology. BP 6163.4, the student use of technology. This is revised, and it is an essential policy for a digital-first instructional environment. There are 3 key components: the acceptable use policy, digital citizenship, and online safety. Critical new policies: special education and federal monitoring. We are adding 3 compliance policies for special education and 4 for federal program monitoring, all of which are mandated by state and federal law. Finally, we are adding BP 5145.9, which is an optional policy, but much needed. It is the hate-motivated behavior, and this establishes clear protections and response procedures for students who experience discrimination or harassment based on their identity. Special education and compliance. The following special education board policies formalize Whittier Union's essential practices that adhere to the Individuals with Disabilities Education Act and the California Ed Code. Federal program monitoring. Our 4 federal program monitoring policies are essential for maintaining our federal funding streams. These policies ensure compliance and protect significant federal funding. The Ed Services team asked the Board of Trustees to approve all and new revised board policies discussed tonight with revisions after our discussion. This action is vital for Whittier Union's legal compliance, meeting federal program monitoring requirements, and maintaining governance standards. These policies reflect our commitment to student excellence and equity. Tonight is the first reading. Final adoption is scheduled for the April 7th board meeting. Thank you for your commitment and thoughtful, community-centered governance. We are now here to take any questions you may have.
All right, so what I'd like to do is, if board members have questions about the policies, is to have those raised first. I know I had an opportunity to meet with the team, so I had a lot of my questions answered, but I will still make some comments to give direction, because I think there's a couple of policy areas where I think we as a board need to discuss. But I think the first piece is, if you did not have an opportunity to meet with the team, are there questions where you're not understanding what the proposals are that they're making to our board policies versus a policy question about for us? Anybody?
Yes.
Okay, Dr. Castaneda Calleros.
I'm going to go in, I guess, chronological order, or numeric order is probably a better term. So my first question is with policy 5111 on admissions. And on page 8 of the 5,000 section. And if you look on that page, the second to the last paragraph is struck. And this seems to be a safeguard for our students, and I'm wondering why it's struck and if there's a rationale that could be explained.
That was struck because it refers specifically to K1, and the Ed code that is mentioned there, 4800 through 4804, are also in reference only to K1.
Ah, okay. Thank you very much.
We did, there was somewhere else in the document where it does talk about student information and protecting that, right? So that would cover that basically, correct?
Yes, okay. And there's other places in here that cover student information.
Anybody else?
On that?
No, any other questions?
I do have quite a few.
Okay, why don't we, let me do this then. Let's start with the 5,000 series for questions. Let me keep with Dr. Castaneda Calleros. Any other questions on those policies?
Yes, so if I could jump to 5116.1. Now this is on school attendance boundaries. So just an explanation of why, maybe, okay, no, I'm sorry. This is 5116.1, intra-district open enrollment, page 15. And just wanted to know why criteria 5 is being struck.
That's actually something that is covered in our inter-district policy. We also, we understand those special circumstances, but it also does open up overcrowding, or the possibility of placing someone with overcrowding, where in our inter-district policy, this would definitely be covered, and we would be able to have that in a timely manner with our families.
Understood. Okay. Thank you. And let's see. 5125 Student records. This would be page 22. Let's see. This was answered, so I'm going to skip this one. That allows me then to go to 5144.1, which would be page 41. And I'm just thinking of, I'm always trying to think of situations that happen and how do we address them in board policy. So if what happens if the length of or the timing of a suspension or expulsion extends during that graduation period? Did we forfeit graduation? Should we address that in our board policy? So just wanted to know if there's any thought to that, because we've had incidents occur very close to graduation, and that's created a lot of angst for the community. So thank you.
The answer to your question is yes, you can suspend and expel even after graduation, but there's really no use for that. But if you are suspended or expelled during that graduation time, they cannot participate in graduation ceremony.
How about a friendly amendment? You see where your highlighted green is? Suspended students shall be denied the privilege of participation in all extracurricular activities during the period of suspension, comma, including graduation.
Fair enough.
I accept that for the amendment. That gets to the spirit of my concern.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. And 5145.11, this is my last 5,000s related question. And then I'll yield the floor. So this is questioning and apprehension by law enforcement, page 44. This might be a legal question, but is ICE considered a law enforcement agency? And if so, can this be used by them as a weapon to try to interrogate or investigate our students? And I'm just thinking ahead of how do we safeguard our students?
Although they are considered law enforcement, they are not able to come onto our campus. They need to have a specific warrant to be able to come onto our campus. So they would be held at the gate, and that is also covered through our policies that we talked about earlier in the year for ICE.
I would also add, it says local law enforcement, and ICE is part of a federal Department of Homeland Security.
And they need a subpoena from court signed by a judge.
How about if I make a suggestion? It says local at the very beginning, but it doesn't say local throughout. How about if we add wherever it says when any law enforcement officer, if we say when any local law enforcement officer, at the local law enforcement officer's discretion. That way we're clear that we're only talking about local law enforcement. Is that captured?
It does capture my concern, but I see Mr. Lopez's hand.
Yes.
Madam President, I agree with you on this, and we have to include that maybe as a title. But I do have, there are some instances where the sheriff, the CHP, County Highway Patrol, assist local. Does that include them? Because it's a statewide agency.
Do we ever cooperate with the state CHP? My understanding is CHP gets picked by the districts and they have nobody else, but.
CHP does cooperate with Whittier Union Transportation. They do oversee our transportation division. I can't recollect a specific example of their cooperation with our schools as it relates to this policy, although we do have programs like we shared with you with Santa Fe High School where we do cooperate with CHP on that every 15 minutes.
There can be a scenario if there's a bus accident where if CHP is the investigating agency, they can, and I've seen it happen, come to campus to occasionally question student witnesses in regards to the bus accident. That'd be the exception there.
Yeah, and I think that's been our interactions with CHP. CHP is the clearing agency for any bus accident, so if and when there's an accident involving the school bus, students are stay on the bus. CHP leads the investigation, throughout that process, and eventually we'll release the bus to continue forward. So there is some interaction through the transportation department with CHP.
Madam President.
Yes, please, Ms. Conchola.
So I'm thinking, would it be beneficial if we outline that in that particular case scenario, that would be the exception, so that everything else applies to it? Is that something that we should consider?
I think that you're kind of going in the direction I was thinking, which is there could be a sentence at the bottom of this. The California Highway Patrol, well, these guidelines shall also apply to the California Highway Patrol in performing an investigation related to transportation services. That's the only way I could see it being more limited, because we don't have them on our campuses. What do you think, Mr. Lopez?
No, I think there's got to be some kind of verbiage adding them, because as a state agency, I think we'll leave it up to, you know, the staff to come up with the language. I think they heard us loud and clear, and we'll go from there.
Okay, I want to make sure your concern is addressed.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, maybe we should also look into CSBA and to see if they have any particular examples, and then also contact our attorneys as well.
Oh,
That, so that they can, you know, staff comes up with like an initial verbiage, and then we pass it by our attorneys, to make sure that they capture what it is that we're trying to avoid in terms of protecting our students.
I think that there's an expectation that after you get our feedback and you revise, that they still go back to legal counsel for a final review before they come back to us at the next meeting. Is that a fair that was, I think, my expectation, that there would be some final legal review, but this should get special legal review that we have questions.
It goes back to CSBA, they review it, and then they make all of the edits, and then they give it back to us, they clean it up.
Okay, and then we can give it to our legal counsel before it comes to the board. Okay.
So can it go to legal counsel before, because then it seems like if CSBA is gonna approve it, and then we're gonna have to go
What I
back?
would say is typically, legal counsel does not review all of these board policies unless Whittier Union is making an adjustment that would warrant us to, so we're deviating from CSBA. All of these policies as part of the CSBA process are already vetted by legal counsel. So us adding language would then want us to, with our legal counsel, make sure that it's still in alignment with law.
I think the question simply is process. Does it happen first before it goes to CSBA, or does it happen after CSBA edits the changes?
CSBA is only gonna make formatting changes like changing the governing board to board of trustees, making sure that we've chosen all of our options, removing any strike-throughs, et cetera. So they are not going to do another legal vetting, but.
I'm just saying, do you want our legal team to review it before CSBA does that
I think it would be
formatting?
helpful for them to see it in the next 3 weeks, for anywhere substantive changes are being made to the policy.
All right, so that is a direction of the board, is that to the extent we're making substantive additions or changes, we would like our legal counsel to review it before it gets sent to CSBA for formatting.
And Madam President, that satisfies my questions. I just have one edit that's not really a question, but would now be the time to offer that, or should I wait till later?
Since it's one, yes.
Okay. So, committee, we're going to go back to 5131.2, bullying, page 26. And I feel strongly that we should have some language in this board policy that refers to our Whittier culture of being restorative, and I'm referring to restorative justice. And if we're going to bring up restorative justice and you know our other policies regarding vandalism, graffiti, and drug use, I think we should do it with bullying as well. So I'm not going to wordsmith it, but I just wanted to communicate that wish to the board and the committee that I would like to see some language that refers to our commitment as a district to involving bullies or victims of bullying in restorative justice practices. Thank you.
I support that.
I thank you for bringing that up, especially in the light of the recent bullying situations that we have seen across the nation in the last couple of days, including a young woman that was 12 that passed away because of bullying. And so thank you for, because we do have a very strong stance against that, so I appreciate that.
All right, so that shall be the direction of the board on that one. Now, Mr. Lopez, I know you had some questions.
Yes, thank you. Let's go to page 9 and 10. This is a policy number 5111.1, district residency. I see that the option 2 was struck. Just wonder why we're giving up the power, and at the end, the board decision shall be final is struck in that, and with that policy or with that section?
Well, there would be multiple appeals, or there can be multiple appeals, and then the timeliness would be difficult. They would have to wait several weeks to have an answer because they would have to wait for a board meeting, whereas in this case, that would be 10 days and more expeditious and beneficial for students if that's the need.
But I understand the waiting game.
Mm-hmm.
I understand that. But my question is, I don't feel comfortable, fellow colleagues, that we give this power away where we make the final decision, because if there's certain steps, we are the final decision maker. And with this policy and this option, just option 1, you just give the final decision to our superintendent. Now, there are many times that parents or whomever are not happy with the decision with a superintendent. Therefore, they want to appeal to the board. I just feel comfortable including the board's decision. That's all.
All right, board, so this is a policy decision on our part. That is, do we want to have the superintendent's decision be final on residency requirements being met? Or do we want to have the board make the ultimate decision? I'd like to hear from our other board members what your sense of that is. Dr. Casameda-Calles.
I'm trying to.
Thank you. I'm trying to balance the two competing pressures of the pressure of the board holding on to our authority, and also the pressure of trying to be responsive to families and parents that are waiting for this decision because they're having to rearrange their lives based on this decision. So the compromiser in me is trying to think of compromise language that could satisfy both of these competing pressures. So I'm wondering maybe if we resurrect option 2, but have parameters so that only in certain cases can the superintendent's decision be appealed and then it go to the board. Like, we need to be able to have strict parameters there so that it's only done in instances where, I don't know, I'm just trying to think out loud in terms of what circumstances would trigger that scenario, you know what I'm saying?
Does anyone else, before I comment, does anyone else have any? Yes.
Interestingly enough, in the last couple of days, there have been in the local community Facebook pages discussion about a mother asking the question, how can I appeal this situation because it's really impacting my family. The conversation was around Little Lake School District for a particular situation there. But I was thinking, I have been given this thought, right, only because that was a community conversation. I think I'm leaning kind of in your direction in terms of, in general, we would follow the process where the superintendent would go ahead and approve it so that we can address the needs of the families. But there will, and there could possibly come situations where they would want to appeal that decision, and I think then that's where we would come in. So if we can word it that way, I don't know if we have to be as specific in terms of what those types of situations will be, because there's a lot of unexpected situations. but I think we, for the normal process and the expediting the response, I think that would be good, and then just for exceptions, then we would be the ones that would make that final choice.
Let me, Mr. Utiaga, anything?
I mean, that's a happy medium. It gives, the superintendents can make the decision, and if there's an appeal process, then it would come to board. Who knows how many, probably such a minute number if they agree, but it could be an option on both ends. If the parent doesn't like the decision that was made, they can appeal to the board if we're trying to meet in the middle on something.
I'll add my quick 2 cents here. I think I had the same question, why aren't we being able to make the decision? And then I thought in our discussions with the team is that there are a lot of these that potentially happen, so this could really eat up a lot of our board time, number one. And I think number two, I'm worried that some of this gets more political than substantive. So, but if the direction of the majority of the board is, because the change that you would simply make if you want to do option 2 is you would leave the language in option 1, but delete the sentence, the superintendent's decision shall be final, and then keep in option 2, because then that allows for the appeal. But obviously, that was my opinion, but obviously I'm one of 5, and I think my sense is from the other 4 of you that you would like to have a hybrid of, am I hearing that right?
I'd like to hear Dr. Oviedo.
I would just say, that I don't believe that this is common. This is specifically related to district residency, and many of the processes here have to do with families who aren't able to prove their residency and the processes. And even in those cases, it's very rare for us to go through an investigation. It would require, there are some circumstances where it occurs, and I can recollect those having served in ed services, but it's not that common.
Okay.
That we would utilize that.
If I
process. So
may,
the appellate process.
this is what is currently in our board policy as it stands right now.
With the superintendent option.
The current policy is the superintendent's decision is final.
Correct.
All right, so I think that we have at least 4 board members who believe that there should be an appeal to the board. So we'll keep in language option 1, delete the sentence, the superintendent's decision shall be final, and then add the rest for option 2. Okay, Mr. Lopez.
Thank you. Page 14, school attendance boundaries. So what was the reason for striking out this language? That's just wondering. Page 14.
The last paragraph that's highlighted.
The last paragraph.
Like, the short version is because it doesn't happen.
We're not being overcrowded at this point, no.
That's it?
We can always put it back if we're overcrowding, but not at this point.
And since we're on this one, did we find a definition of students? What is a community facilities district?
Yes, I looked it up, but it's also referred to as Mello-Roos, if that term rings a bell, and it's basically community that is a special tax base to provide community supports.
Do we have any of our residency areas that are Mello-Roos taxation? So this paragraph may not even apply.
Correct.
If you can confirm
There
that
isn't a Mello-Roos, but where I live in the Groves, there is an extra assessment that is paid to the city of Whittier, but the schools don't receive it.
Oh.
So I was just, okay, so if it doesn't apply to us, if we're gonna delete the bottom one because it doesn't apply to us, I would recommend we delete the top one too. But what if the staff can confirm there's no quote-unquote community facilities district?
When I researched the city of Whittier, Whittier does not have that, but as Dr. Oviedo said, there are parts that may have it. It's very small communities, but not the city of Whittier as a whole.
All right, but what if, so, but unincorporated county areas or Santa Fe Springs? Because you're right, you've got a little bit of La Habra Heights, you've got La Mirada. So is your sense we should leave it in just in case?
That would be my recommendation, because there's quite a bit of development that is being planned within the Whittier Union boundaries. And so I wouldn't want to make a change and then a year from now have to come back and make a change.
I think the challenges here is that it's students residing in community facilities districts shall have priority to the extent provided by law for attendance at schools financed in whole or in part by the community facility. I guess it's a tax base, I guess.
Yeah.
So it could be for Whittier High, they'd have priority for Whittier High, for instance. That's kind of odd. I'm okay leaving it in if it doesn't apply, but that was my question, was what is a community facilities district? Okay, thank you. I think the consensus is leave it in. Okay. Gotcha. All right, Mr. Lopez.
Thank you. And then page 24, I know this one. I'm trying to find ways to see if we maybe can find a middle ground. But here's the background story. I was speaking with an employer, and I asked him, what would you want to see, a Latin honor system, or on a resume, right, or recognition of valedictorian? And they said, you know what? Honestly, the honor system's nice, but I would want to see someone that puts valedictorian on the resume. So I guess my question is this: how do we come up with a Latin honor system? And, did we pull employers? Because at the end of the day, it's the diploma, right? The diploma, along with the recognition and such, that's recognized in the workforce world. So did we pull employers on this?
I'm going to ask if we could, there was a board member that was actually part of the process of determining that, and so I would recommend that we hear from him first, and then I can kind of share with you.
There's only one board member who's probably here. Dr. Casanita.
I appreciate that, and Mr. Lopez, I appreciate your question. To my knowledge, I'm not aware that we pulled every employer per se, but I do know we involved a big swath of the Whittier Union community, including parents and families, and staff, site administrators. And the valedictorian, salutatorian nomenclature was getting rather messy. It was layered with politicism. And there were students that were racing to try to take classes during the summer to try to beef up their GPAs. There were a lot of jockeying going on. It led to a lot of hurt feelings at the end of the year when we had students who had, maybe 5 students who had 4.0s, but there was only 1 valedictorian. And so we had parents lined up here at the podium. I remember Miss Overbeck coming and saying, why is my son not a valedictorian? It's destroyed his future, and I'm paraphrasing. But it was a big headache. And the Latin honors was a wonderful idea that came organically, actually, after I think a committee was doing some research with other local high schools. And it was even found during the research and during the committee's work that a lot of colleges that were looking at resumes and CVs were looking favorably at the Latin honors system because it was sort of putting us on par with other high schools across the region and across the nation, actually. So that was my recollection of the process in a nutshell.
Just wondering if we surveyed that, I'm not saying the specific employers, but maybe a sample of maybe 100 employers, which system works better for them, but that's all.
I think that what we can do with this one, since this is our current practice, is if there's interest by the board to do that evaluation, I think I can put it on another board meeting for a discussion, because then that would require separate action to do that research. But for purposes of approving this policy, this is our current system as I understand it.
Yes, it is.
No, it is, and I agree with you. Now, I think maybe pull the winners, the recipients of the Latin honor system. Maybe pull them, You know, I would love to see their reaction. Did you submit your resume? Did you include your Latin honor system in your resume? And what was the result? Here it is. I just want to see a successful program, whether it's a Latin honor system or whatnot. That's all. And, you know, I want to see if the students are getting jobs. And at the end of the day, it's about them getting jobs, getting accepted to a college and such. That's all. Thank you.
Can I make a comment? Okay, I'm looking at it from the University of California perspective, right? I worked with the UC for 36 years. So I am not an admissions officer, but we work very closely with admissions officers in my job. And so the way that my brain's thinking right now, I wasn't part of that early discussion. It was before my time. But I'm thinking, if you have one valedictorian versus having 5 students that have, you know, this particular category, we're actually giving students a better opportunity to meet some of the University of California requirements or the Cal State requirements to get in, because you're not choosing one. You're making it more global in terms of really highlighting their academic successes. So I think that the way that it is right now gives our students, Whittier Union, more opportunity to get into especially to the more competitive campuses.
Just one last thing.
Yes, Mr. Lopez.
If you don't mind. Thank you. And you know, you don't have to just choose one or 2. You know, I've seen them, high schools choose multiple. It doesn't have to be just a certain number or just 2 people. We can, you know, open it up for maybe 10 to 12 or whatnot. But I just wanted to see more research, and I'll bring it up, Madam President. I'll bring it up just to follow up on that research if it's working for employers and obviously for the students. Thank you.
I'll support you.
Any other comments, Mr. Lopez? In the 5,000?
Oh, yes. Now, on page 31, it covers meta classes, right, Dr. Oviedo? Yes. Okay, thank you. All right. Okay. Page 33. We're deleting, okay, I do have on the third paragraph, all students who participate as cheerleaders, song leaders, athletes. Why can't we just say just athletes? Does it specify, why is it, why are we mentioning cheerleaders and song leaders? That's all.
It was
Page
part of the
30.
CSBA template.
That's that.
It's part of the CSBA
Oh, okay.
template.
I'd just like to see maybe athletes and or yeah, that's it, athletes instead of just cheer or song leaders. Obviously, CIF is a sport, so thanks to Lina Gonzalez.
Song leading is not a CIF sport, according to our student.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I think part of this, and I recognize in this policy as well as recommended by CSPA, one of our practices is to also require health examinations for other groups that are not just athletes, and would recommend even potentially the inclusion of band students who are not included in this list.
Can we add those then?
Yes.
Sorry.
The answer is yes. The answer is yes. You know what I told Dr. Oviedo? CSBA is not the boss of us. They help guide us, but
Just want to mention.
all right, so the direction from the board is, let's go ahead and keep cheerleaders and song leaders, but also add
Band.
or athletes and how do you can't say band. Athletes, I guess, well, you guys will figure out the way to wordsmith it, okay, all right. Those students who participate in band activities. Thank you. Mr. Lopez?
Last one. Thank you. Madam President. Okay, on page 46, the use of contraband detection dogs. I do have a question on the last word, individual suspicion. That's a very broad word.
46.
And it's open for interpretation. So I guess my question, why are we focused on individualized suspicion here?
I'm going to answer this one as a practicing attorney. This is the legal standard, and it is intentionally a broad phrase, but the Supreme Court requires this individualized suspicion you can't sniff any personal items on those persons without, I have to really believe that you personally have that contraband on your person before I can bring the dog to sniff you.
And belief is very open to
It
interpretation.
is.
And
It
then
is.
also,
But if you've seen the rest of this policy, it's written with all kinds of
Right.
legalese in it.
I think this is important though. This
Yeah.
one is super important because, again, anyone with this assumption that there is a suspicion, therefore they can move ahead and use detection dogs. I just have concern with this, without evidence. It's just a suspicion.
It's a legal phrase, that doesn't mean there's no evidence. Individualized suspicion does not mean there's no evidence. There has to be observations that people make, or reliable information from another or something they've seen. What we can do, because I understand the concern is, we can ensure that, I don't know if we have a dog, that there's training that is done to our staff members who are making this assessment so that they understand what individualized suspicion is.
Well, I like your word, Trustee Rodriguez, when you say reliable, maybe use the word reliable somewhere in here?
I think my concern is that it's an actual legal phrase, that,
Okay.
that's,
Okay.
but it definitely does not mean, I saw Jaime, and I thought I saw him take out a joint.
It would be helpful maybe for Ms. Medina to share how the dogs are used and the processes, because they don't sniff individual persons.
No.
That's not
That's not our
our
practice.
process.
Typically, students are exited out of the classroom, and when this does happen, the dogs can walk the classroom, but the kids are nowhere near. The dogs do not approach students at all. They do not come within that sniffing area. So when say that if that's a classroom, they would not be sniffing individual students. We don't use them in that way.
So do we want to delete the last sentence in?
Can I ask a question? Just for conversation point. I'm wondering if reliable can be changed to trained individuals. You know, if we have people that have actually gone through the training on how to, spot, then I think that would make a big difference.
It should have trained, non-aggressive dogs at the top. I think if the concern for Mr. Lopez is, this is, because that sentence applies to specific, I'm going to have the dog sniff you.
And we don't.
But
that's not something we do.
That's not our practice. That is not our practice.
One more caveat to add. When we had the lockdowns and the bomb threat at Cal High, LA sheriffs did bring the bomb squad dogs, did they not, Mr. DeMero?
That's correct.
But this says use of contraband detection dogs.
Detection dogs, yes.
Contraband
So that
would
would
be
be
explosive devices.
Oh, it's contraband considered?
Anything that is prohibited by law, is what it says.
Okay, may I?
Yes, please, Mr.
Okay, I just want to, I understand there was a incident, absolutely, okay? There is that, obviously, that suspicion, okay? But again, you bring him in, there's automatically a suspicion, right? Am I not wrong?
You're wrong. Yes, you're wrong.
Yeah, okay.
They come in on a random cadence to the schools. It's not because we have a suspicion that a student has, an individual student has contraband.
For the board's consideration, just looking at the definition of individualized suspension, or suspicion is referenced as a Fourth Amendment legal standard requiring that law enforcement or school officials have specific, articulable, and objective facts indicating that a particular person is involved in criminal activity or wrongdoing. It prohibits stops or searches based on general profiles, hunches, or broad non-specific suspicion. Just for context for the board consideration.
What about if we were to look at putting a note with like a little asterisk that then defined that legal standard below? Because
I think
he did.
Right, but I think this is a policy, right? So when I look at these documents, we're talking about sort of a broad base, here's our generalized rules. Because I could start putting asterisks in all kinds of these policies, I'll be candid as the team knows, but you know, the law changes. So if that's the compromise for tonight from the board, then we can go there. But I do think that the phrase individualized suspicion has its own legal meaning already, that those of you who have to implement it will know.
for all of these policies, they have been provided to you without all of the citations. The citations, you recollect that there'll be a whole bunch of citations related to other board policies, ed code, legal cases, etc. So that we wouldn't kill as many trees. Yes. Those have been omitted for this review. But when it comes to the final policies that will be uploaded and published, they will have all of those citations and codes.
So I do have a question. So without notice, the district can have have the detection dog visit the campus?
Yes, that's what this policy says. Yes. Any other in the 5,000s?
Thank you.
Okay, we'll get this. Let me go, Ms. Controller, and then I'll come back to Mr. Rivera. Do you have any questions on the 5,000s? Mr. Rivera.
I just had one because a couple of them were already referenced. So on page 45, policy 514, 5.12, search and seizures. The second paragraph, the statement, the superintendent or designee shall ensure that staff who conduct student searches receive training regarding the requirements of the district policy and administrative regs and other legal issues. So my question is that who are determined to do searches of students at school, and how often, who does the training, and how often, is it a yearly training, or how often do they get trained?
We cover that with through my work with the assistant principals, but typically it's our administrators and with somebody else in the room, and it is only very surface level. A lot of times it's just the backpack, emptying out pockets and such. And we do that. We talk about that, we do that, and we continue to work.
How often do they get trained? Is it like a yearly, or just one time when they get hired, or?
No, it's yearly, but it's conversational. As meetings come up and situations come up, we continue to talk about best practices and work through situations together. Not just one school site, all the school sites together.
Okay, that was it.
I have a few, and I'll try to make it very quick. One of my generalized comments was there's a few policies, and we talked about it when I met with you, where it references, inter-references like a district policy, like the district policy on suspensions. I would like there to be a reference in that paragraph to what that board policy is when it says that stuff there. So I think that I'd like this document to be something that parents can go to and say, oh, how do I look at what expulsion is? And it's right there. Okay. I would like to talk first about 5116.2 on page 17. The restorative justice is in this one, so this one you're in here. This is for the involuntary transfer of a student convicted of violent felony or misdemeanor related to possession of firearms. And maybe it doesn't apply here now that I look at it in its bigger context. But one of the concerns I had when I read this is it only allows us to take these actions after a conviction, which means that could be a year later with the way the wheels of the criminal justice system turn. And I'm wondering if we can add something about an interim measure that the superintendent, but, and so I would like to get the explanation that, do we need to add something here, or is there another board policy where if the superintendent or the families believe, I've been threatened with a gun, the person is pending criminal charges, but in the interim, we are able to still transfer that student involuntarily?
Through our student statement of responsibilities, if there is a weapon on campus or an item perceived as a weapon, that would be standard for a suspension and a transfer, and then that, depending on what that occurred, what that weapon was, what the situation was, we would have discussions about what that transfer would look like, but that would be an involuntary transfer.
And for a firearm, that's getting into ed code language about expulsion at that point.
Yes.
Got it. But I guess the issue of an interim involuntary transfer pending a conviction, right? The way this is written, I have to wait.
Correct. I think we need a couple of sentences in there to adhere to that, because we've had a couple of cases cross our desk where the parents will say, I can't be involuntary transferred, and we do not have a board policy for that. If we could add that, it would be amazing.
So I think I saw one in one of the other policies, the superintendent or their designee may involuntary transfer a student. I mean, I think we'll leave it to you guys, but that was what struck me here, is like, wow, you've got to wait a long time. And in the meantime, you've got scared students, or the victim ends up transferring, and so I was concerned about that.
So we will
Is that
work.
okay with the board?
We will work on some
Yes.
sentences
Yes.
in there and share that with you all.
All right, let me go to my next one. This one I think we're all okay with, but I just want to confirm with my colleagues, and this one is 5127, graduation ceremonies and activities. Page 24. We deleted the paragraph, at the discretion of the superintendent, a student who will complete graduation requirements, blah, 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 during the summer, it looks like may be allowed to participate in graduation exercises. And I understand this is our current practice.
Correct.
So I think I had a bigger question with the board is, this basically says, you have an early diploma, you don't get to go through ceremonies. The current policy is proposed. This sentence would allow the superintendent discretion to allow a student who's going to finish in the summer to go through graduation, but not actually get their diploma handed at that time. Do we care? Are we okay deleting that?
I can live with deleting that.
I just thought that was more of a policy question of, students worked hard, but they've got, 3 units or 1 class to finish in the summer. They really want to walk the line. Can they petition the superintendent to say, I really want to walk the line of this, blah, 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 blah?
Yeah, I'd like to hear from Dr. Oviedo if there's a burning reason we should keep this at all.
No, I don't think that there is a burning reason why we should keep that. I think that whenever there is that may language, that opens us up to some who, even if it's just perception, that some are able to walk and others are not. It's better that we have so many interventions and supports for students to successfully graduate, and for certain students to graduate with less than the 220 credits. But there has to be a definitive line.
And we still give them the opportunity to finish their diploma with Ms. Moriarty.
And then they come back for graduation in the
following year?
subsequent June.
And they can still walk
Okay.
the following year.
I have other questions on this policy, but I'll let Mr. Lopez comment.
No, I agree. I mean, if we allow all these opportunities, whether it's 0.5, whether it's 3, they did not earn the right to be on the stage.
That
Thank
was a
you.
question I had for the board. The next question on the same policy is page 25. I think we uncovered that this is an awkwardly worded sentence. But the issue here for me is there's no appeal to the superintendent actually specified here. So it basically says, and I'll read it the right way, students shall not be denied the privilege of participating in the graduation ceremonies and activities except as discipline in cases of serious misconduct. In no event shall a student be denied participation in graduation ceremonies unless the principal or designee has informed the student and the student's parents/guardians of the misconduct and has given them an opportunity to respond. So the way this policy reads is, the principal makes the call, and as long as I tell the parent, that's the final decision. This does not provide an appeal to the superintendent. So do we want to add language that the parents may appeal the principal's decision to the superintendent? Mm-hmm. You should have been at the meeting.
I was at the women's conference. I would say in point of fact, we do have an appellate process, and so I'm okay if you want to add that in, whether it be the superintendent or designee, the deputy superintendent. And I can think of, and I'm sure you all can as well, in recent years, my first year, we had a mass vandalism event that did result in a few students not walking in high school. And we did follow through all the appeals, and I met with each of them.
Okay, so let's add a sentence in, parents may appeal the principal's decision to the superintendent or designee. Okay, all right, let's see my next one. Page 27, vandalism and graffiti, 5131.5. I would like to revise this one into the second sentence. It says, right now, students and staff are encouraged to report any graffiti. I would revise this, I would request the board approve. Students are encouraged and staff shall report any graffiti or vandalism. And the reason for that is I think we need to have an affirmative duty of our staff members. They're our employees, this is our property, and if they see graffiti, they must report it. Students can be encouraged because obviously we're not going to have as much repercussions. And to the extent that the other legal question that this would require, if in fact it's needed to be vetted, is this a matter of negotiation with our labor partners to make that change? Yes, Mr.
Can you just repeat that last comment about the labor partners,
Yeah, my
please?
comment is, if we change it to, although this is, I guess, I don't know if it's a new policy or not. Right now it says students and staff are encouraged.
This is a new policy.
Yeah. So I would like to change it, students are encouraged and staff will report any graffiti or vandalism to the principal or designee. I think our staff should be required to report it. My legal question is, to make that change or to implement this policy with that change, do we need to meet and confer with our labor partners to make it? Because clearly it creates a potential for discipline, should they not report.
Well, when you say will or versus shall, I think open for interpretation. But I'm concerned on the word shall.
I said will, but that's okay. Either one is the same, interchangeable.
Yeah, I think to take this policy back, in my opinion, get some feedback from the labor partners.
I'm fine with getting feedback from our labor partners. I don't have an issue with that.
Okay,
I'm just
thank
saying my request from my fellow board members is that we pursue that type of change and see what happens. So. Okay. I don't want to put him on the spot. He has to talk to his members and.
One of my concerns was, does this reach all the way to the bus? Because when it comes to school buses, we're covered in graffiti. All we do is write an incident and it just gets covered up. We don't know where it goes from there, but if it's something where we can write on a report, maybe take a picture and it goes to them, that, you know, it happened on this route, this school, that at least you guys have a collection of what we go through.
That would be perfect, yes. Because I think we want to be able to clean it up, address it, yeah.
I agree with I'm sorry.
No, I was gonna say, you put in the shell, then you start getting a requirement, if there's a discipline, or you change the work conditions, and that's where it needs to get negotiated. So the shell is kind of, it's always to get the end. What happens if they don't? Now, you're gonna have someone hold them accountable, and it's not something that.
Well, the answer is, well, I was just encouraged. I wasn't required to do it, so how could you discipline me for it?
Right.
So yes, that's why I think it does need to be run by our labor partners.
I agree.
But the question is, does the board agree that we should at least attempt to make that effort?
I think it's worth it.
Yes. Okay. All right.
I think it's worth it just to, you know, really understand
you know, the responsibilities, say, of, say, the maintenance folks? I mean, do they have a responsibility just to
Part of
see
their
the?
job duties, yeah.
Right.
It's part of their job duties.
It's part of the responsibilities as is, right?
Take a photo of it and then they clean it.
Right. So, anyway,
Okay.
thank you.
I appreciate that. Let me go to my next one, page 30, 5131.7, reference. I think I shared this with the team. This is on the reporting of dangerous objects. Do you see that at the very end of that page, 30? It says the board encourages students. So I'm a little concerned that the board individually, I don't know how we do this. I'd like to have that changed to the district encourages students to promptly report the presence of weapons. Because when I read the board, I keep thinking I've got to go into the classroom and, you know, issue a press release.
We have the schedule.
So is that okay with everybody? Change that to district?
Yes, indeed.
Alrighty. I think I caught, you guys caught my typo on page 34. We had a reference to preschool. And then let's go page 50. Also had the reference to 4.12. And then I think we should have a discussion on 5145.9, hate motivated behavior, on a question that I think is of policy. And I could probably go either way, but it's what struck me. And it's in the two subparagraphs, the ones that talk the district, and our team changed it to may provide students with age-appropriate instruction. And then at the bottom, the superintendent or designee may provide staff with training, . And what concerned me about us changing it to may versus shall is it feels like we're not as committed to this training or as committed to prohibiting hate-motivated behavior. Because when you say the district shall provide students with age-appropriate instruction and you list of things, it really feels like a commitment we're making, and yes, but it will be a requirement. I understand from the staff, one of the concerns is that if we keep it as shall, does it open us up for legal liability for, let's say we don't do it and somebody does engage in this behavior, and so to be fair as we talked about it. And then I think we talked about a little wordsmith, and I tried looking at my notes, and I think that the compromise we may have drawn was the district shall provide students with age-appropriate instruction that may.
That may include.
That may include.
This bulleted list.
And then the same thing on the other one, the superintendent of designee shall provide staff with training that may include. Because I think it's important, if we're really interested in committing to prohibiting hate-motivated behavior, we should be committing to some sort of training for it.
I like the compromise language.
Formatting wise, you don't need the word include at the end, because each phrase starts with a verb. So it just may include development, may promote an understanding, may explain the harm. You might have to change the verb tense for a couple of those, but.
Okay. Whatever, but do you guys get the sense of what we're talking about in this?
We will fix the sentence.
Yep. Okay.
Madam President, I just want to know why they struck the word may, but I definitely agree with you on this. I'm just wondering why, is it because of staffing issues or why?
More Mr. Urtiaga, what he was talking about is potentially if you don't have something in, does that result in discipline? Or the flip, if a student engages in this, but, well, you didn't train me on X, and you were supposed to do that, then we're held responsible.
Okay, thank you, but definitely agree with Madam President.
All right, those conclude my comments on the 5,000 series. I want to thank the staff for all the incredible hard work. Thank you. It was a lot of work, and thank you to my fellow board members for the time to really go through this. As I learned, this is the most important job we have apparently, is to get these policies the right way. So
We're not done, we have 6,000.
we're not done, we're going to 6,000.
Let's
All
go,
right,
let's go.
let's go.
As Mr. Lopez says, let's go.
We're only mile 13, mile 13. All right, let me go ahead and start with questions or discussions on board policies in the 6,000 series. Does anyone want to start us off?
Yeah, it's fair.
Okay.
Get the mic on here. Okay, so this is kind of minor, but I want to get it all out of my system. Board policy, oh, this is not minor. 6141.2. Just curious,
This is a good one.
why are we striking this entire BP? Recognition of religious beliefs and customs, page 8.
So that one was inadvertently added to the packet. That is a board policy we don't currently have. And what our process was to start with the full array of CSBA board policies. And then for something we didn't want to add, the direction we gave to CSBA was
Remove, and on top it says remove. So that one was added by accident.
Oh. But I think there's still a question, what was the thinking of this, of our professional staff here, as to why this should not be included? Aside from the fact that it's not currently in policy.
I think when we were looking at our role in this, given that we were looking at a significant number of board policies, we were looking at this as a process of not to add a lot of board policies, but more to update what we have so that it's more consistent with current legal language. If you look at the ones that we've added, recommended additions, things we don't currently have, either they have to do with new laws that we now have to be in alignment with, or specific topical issues that have come up, such as the vandalism graffiti one. So we try to use a fairly narrow lens, given that we are not the ones that set board policy.
Well, at the risk of violating policy 6141.2, if it existed, God works in mysterious ways. And I think this actually gets to some issues that have come up, and I'm thinking of the altar at Lucerna High School. We had a parent that said, we need freedom from religion. This is religious expression. And the argument was, no, this is cultural expression. You could argue both. And so incidents and claims like that are going to come up, and I think having a board policy could help clarify and help provide context for future dialogue and discussions with families and parents, among a number of things that could come up within this language.
We're welcome to at your discretion, we can reconsider. You guys are the board.
I think it's a missed opportunity if we don't reconsider, but that's just my 2 cents.
Mr. Lopez?
Yes. Does this address separation of church and state?
It does.
That's what it is, right? I
Yes.
think that's the,
It does.
that's the reason. But how can we compromise to his point about religious versus cultural, right? I do see a benefit. I do see a benefit, you know, to really distinguish between religious and cultural practices. But I also see the separation of church and state as well. So, anyway.
Okay, so I have heard from 3 board members that they are interested in considering this policy. No, sorry, I counted you. I didn't hear from Mr. Ortega, you're also?
No, I'm looking to explore it, to see, you know, one of my colleagues.
Can we ask the team, so we would pull this one from approval at the next session, because you're gonna get our other feedback. But can we ask you to take a look at this one and make recommended changes to it for further consideration at the next board meeting? Because we really want to get the benefit of, if it's going to be in, what do you all recommend?
Sure. Thank you. Next, 6145, student organizations and equal access. Actually, 6145.5, page 11. There's an explicit mention of the Boy Scouts of America, so why not list the Girl Scouts of America too? Would be my question.
Dr. Hernandez.
Yeah, so I can answer that. Interestingly enough, we had the same question when we were updating our non-discrimination statement. We were aligning it with state and federal guidelines. So what we discovered is, like, basic answer, it's required by federal law because it explicitly mentions the Boy Scouts of America Equal Access Act. So it's the title of the act that it's referencing, not the Boy Scouts that we know in our community. And it started with No Child Left Behind, but currently it remains in effect under the ESSA, the Every Student Success Act. So it's not to omit other Girl Scouts, but it's the title of the act.
Okay.
So if we want to align it with our existing non-discrimination statement, when we were talking to CDE and the analysts there, they did say that we could use Scouting America. That was now acceptable language.
Okay.
So if you want to explore that for this policy and use Scouting America versus the Boy Scouts of America, we're allowed to do that as well.
What is that acceptable?
That's acceptable. Thank you, Dr. Singh.
I'm sorry, does that include when you say scouting?
Scouting America,
America?
it's in lieu of utilizing the Boy Scouts of America Equal Access Act.
And Girl Scout is not included?
No, because that was the title of the act, so it's not
Okay.
referring to that organization specifically.
Thank you.
Okay, moving on. Thank you, Madam President. Moving on to Board Policy 6164, Guidance and Counseling Services. And I'll give you a page number as soon as I turn to there. That would be page 34. So Mr. Liggett, thank you very much. Just wanted to know, I think if you go to this is the long one, so if you go to the, we're gonna have the right one.
Page 36.
My question is, why is the teacher-based advisory program being deleted? So I just have to find the page.
Yeah.
37. Yeah,
Yeah,
37.
page, there it is, yeah, page 37.
So it actually mentions that our counselors work in a supervisory role in this case,
Okay,
and they are of the same group. Additionally, it covers a lot of the services our counselors and our social workers already do with our students.
I see, okay.
This is not a program that we currently have,
Mm.
and so it doesn't reflect current practice.
Understood and accepted, thank you both. Okay.
Anything else, Dr. Castellano?
Yes, just a couple more. BP 6174. This is suggested language, not a question. And my suggested language has to do, this is education for English learners, page 45. And if you look down here, this is another multi-page one, so let's see. If you turn to page 47, which is the last part of this BP, under program evaluation, there are many different ways of measuring the effectiveness of the district's educational program for English learners. And I know English learners is a category of students that's near and dear to us as a board. We've been talking a lot about our English learners. And we've talked about the importance of making sure we disaggregate data by school site, by middle school district, and by service area. And maybe we should say K-8 school district, just to be clear. But I want to be able to have that coded here, because I think we need to make data-informed decisions about how we help and improve the success of our English learner students. So I know that's prescriptive, but I really think it belongs here, especially if we're going to be mentioning comparing current data with data from the previous year. So I guess I'd put this maybe in.
Can you repeat that? I'm sorry.
Yeah, so maybe where number 8 is struck, I'm thinking of like a new program evaluation criterion, which maybe would be a new number 7, because if you take away 5 and 8, you only have 6 left. So my new number 7 would be a disaggregation of data by school site, by K-8 district service area, and by high school. Well, that's redundant, just those 2 that I mentioned, by high school site, comprehensive high school site, and K-8 service area.
Dr. Oviedo would like to respond.
I would respectfully request that we not do the K-8 school district. We work really hard to have positive relationships, as all of you do, with our partner elementaries. But our partner elementaries have different economic disadvantages, and so there is a disparity in scores between them. And so although we do share that with those feeder elementary schools, we don't publicize that in a larger group. So that I would be a bit concerned about the potential impact that would have on our relationships with my partner superintendents.
You're absolutely right, and I completely agree with you. So I will amend my recommendation to strike that from the language. Thank you.
But you do want to add school site.
I do.
Yes. Because there it says district or school-wide, it doesn't say specific high school.
Yeah, I think it'd be helpful to know how we're doing by school site, to be able to identify strategies that are working to promote.
You guys have that slide, we'll add by school site.
Okay, so that,
May I add quickly? I'm thinking about our Whittier High School report earlier, where I thought the numbers were very relieving when we had like a 20% jump from getting all the students that's, 8th graders. So I think there is value in looking at those numbers. But perhaps we could use the model that was presented to us for Whittier High School earlier, so that we can see the individual high schools and where they start off and where the impact is a couple of years later, arrive at 11th grade.
I'm going to take a short pause here, and it's 10 o'clock. Our aim is to be done by 10:30 is our goal as a board. We have a number of other items past this tonight. We've got so can I get an agreement from our board that we'll go at least until 11?
I'm okay with that.
We'll try to see if we can get done by then, but we'll at least at this point till 11 o'clock.
We're very like something like 12.
And I know we have our closed session after.
I should have let the principals all go, so.
I think they have been fascinated by this incredible discussion. I see I'm kidding. Yes, of course.
and I only have one more.
Okay. Anyway, of course, Dr. Oviedo, I do think we're going to go till 11 o'clock, so if they want to stay, obviously they're welcome to stay.
And our directors, as soon as we're done with this section, then we'll have you go to.
Okay, Dr. Castaneda.
Thank you, Madam President. So my last, BP 6178, career technical education. So, yeah, that would be page 51. So looking here, the third to the last paragraph, the one that starts, the superintendent or designee shall provide counselors. I'm wondering if, as we mentioned, the different entities that would be represented on the, there's a, let's see. Oh yeah, just information about current workforce needs and trends. I want to be able to be prescriptive here and say information about current and future workforce needs and trends. Okay, so that's one suggestion, really minor, but I think important. And then one other item on this, let's see, it was, I'm trying to find the section that talks about the CTE Advisory Committee. I think that's on page 50, yes. On page 50, second to last paragraph, there's a reference to the board shall appoint a CTE Advisory Committee. And it doesn't have to be Rio Hondo College, but I really would like to suggest the entity, a community college be represented on that committee, given the community college role and stature in CTE advisory education.
We do have a CT representative from Rio Hondo on there.
Okay.
So we can.
Let's add that though, it's not
We can place that on there.
representative from the local community college.
Local, yes, that would be perfect. Thank you, that sums up my comments.
All righty, then we go to Mr. Lopez.
Yeah, just, let me see if I can look this along real quick. On page 11, I just want to know what the difference, really understand the difference between page 11, option 1, which says closed forum versus open forum. Did we talk, what's the difference here? Limited open forum. Oh, I'm sorry. Did I say page 11?
Yes.
Yes, that's right.
I have the legal answer, but
Yeah,
you guys should answer it. I'll give the quick legal answer while they figure why they recommended option 2. So most school districts are option 2 because you do allow people from the outside to come in and to participate in events. If you do totally closed, that means nobody comes in from the outside, you don't make facilities available, you don't let people speak on other topics, it is just stuck on
Okay.
school curriculum.
That's it.
And so limited is, we do allow for limited purposes, non-discriminatorily, but we do allow others to come on campus.
And that is our current
What she
practice.
said.
And that's our current practice.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
Yes.
I only know this because I handled a case for a community college district that had a limited open format.
And then on page 19, on page independent study, this, there's some stricken language on 15 school days or more. Then. What's that?
Dr. Moriarty left. I'm going to be really honest. This policy has required multiple changes to stay current with the state laws since COVID. And so we really do rely on the expertise of Dr. Moriarty on the adjustments that were made to this. And so it's our understanding that this policy was actually not as updated as it should have been. And Dr. Moriarty made some adjustments to it to reflect current law.
And one of the reasons why Dr. Moriarty mentioned about should we remove the 15 days was that we didn't want to limit it to affect restrictions for families and for students. So we wanted to give families opportunities to access this program without waiting 15 days.
On page 23, number 12, the 15 days was not stricken.
I think that's consistent with law on that one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Okay, and then to be cool with 39, page 39, what triggered this change on the last paragraph? The superintendent of this shall maintain a list of impartial hearing officers who are qualified and ready to conduct section.
Ms. Medina?
I'm sorry, this is the last paragraph?
Yeah, last paragraph, yes.
Oh, okay. Well, that is a requirement by law. And so if that was the situation, we are still responsible for doing that without necessarily advertising that.
Hold on, let me understand.
For the
So the last
504,
paragraph
the
is
hearing,
stricken?
the section 504 hearing committees?
Yes.
Okay, so we would have to abide, that is by law already in place. Like, we would have to be able to do that.
Got it, okay, so
Even
it's
without-
repetitive then.
Yeah.
So is that what I'm hearing? Okay,
We would still have to abide by that.
okay. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Couple more?
And then, on page,
It has no page.
it has no page. 48, okay, summer learning programs. I see that 3 through 5 are not stricken.
So that's a formatting error right
Okay,
there. So
that's all.
we are striking all of option 2.
That's all.
Let's let the option out.
Thank you. All right. And then on 51, page 51, I like to, if the board, my colleagues agree, I'd like to add the word trade unions somewhere in here. We have career technical schools, community organization, we just like to add trade unions on there, that's all. If everyone's okay with that. Good. All right. And then there's some other
And you're talking about the college or career fairs?
Correct.
Okay.
And then,
What paragraph is that?
1, 2, 3, the fourth one. On page 50.
Okay.
and then page 55. Okay, on the third paragraph, the superintendent shall appoint a director of continuing education. Who's in charge of continuing education now?
Principal Moriarty, soon to follow by Mr. Rodriguez.
So why are we striking this language?
Because we don't have a director, we have a principal.
Okay.
Mhm.
Oh,
We have
thank
a
you.
principal.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
No, thank you.
So the-
Thank you.
Okay, got it. Okay, so director versus principal. And, yeah, I think there was one other one. Okay, thank you.
Don't worry, if you have another one, because you're looking at it.
Yeah,
Okay,
we're
I'll
good,
take-
we're good.
Ms. Conchola, you're good, Mr. Gutierrez, you're good? And I think I've shared my comments with the staff in terms of, again, the small inter-references to the board and a couple of typos that I caught. And I think my colleagues have captured the other comments that I think we talked about. So I have nothing further. So Mr. Lopez, you have a minute here to double check your notes.
Okay, page 36, same thing, trade unions on the option 1. That's all.
Okay,
Page
let's,
36.
that one may not quite be as easy. Let's hold on here.
Okay.
Because this one has to do, there's a guidance account, option 1. College and prospective employers, including military recruiters, shall have the same access to students for recruiting purposes.
This is ed code.
That's why I was thinking it was a little bit different.
Is it different? Okay.
Yes, because this one, this is to ensure that you allow the military on.
It gets equal access.
Okay, thank you.
And I'm glad I caught that one. because
Thank you.
I don't think
Thank you. I
the other
appreciate
ones
you.
would be fine. Okay.
Appreciate
All right, that concludes the absolutely fascinating areas. And again, I actually want to say that it was, as a person who is not an educator, it was great education for me to learn what the scope of everything we do. And I know that a couple of you are in education, so this was probably like no big deal, but for the rest of us, I gotta tell you, this is very, very illuminating, and thank you for the incredible hard work. Really appreciate it.
Thank you for the feedback. We will add all the edits and have that ready for you by April 7th, and we will have them vetted, those vetted by our lawyers. I really want to thank our ed services for being here tonight. You guys were the backbone of this work, so thank you.
Job and services team. Thank you.
And just so do we have a first reading of more policies next week? No, right?
Oh, we do.
I was just gonna say, I thought we did it.
Zeros, ones, and twos, and I.
So should we move that to May? Well, we'll talk. I'm just saying.
I would love to break that up.
Sure. Yeah.
Can't be done.
Did you catch that on video, Juan? I just want to get that on video.
Pay and strike that.
We need a little more time.
Okay, that's what I thought, Mahar. Okay. All right, let's go to the next item now. Item 14.03, Budget Stabilization Committee update.
Thank you so much, and I want to say, and I know Mr. Tamara was going to say this multiple times, I want to thank all of the staff, certificated, classified, administrators, labor partners, that really were so invested in this process. And so Kevin is going to share with you an overview of what that looked like and some of the recommendations that they're making that you'll see as part of our budget adoption process later this spring.
Thank you, Dr. Oviedo. Again, just to echo those thanks to all of the staff, certificated, classified, representatives from our labor partners, our administrators, who came together really with two primary tasks. One was to build a culture around a very difficult topic, talking about budget stabilization, budget reductions. I think natural tendency is sometimes to retreat into our own priorities. So to really build a culture around this group to look at things objectively and then to immerse themselves into budget statistics, budget reporting, that maybe is something that's not that familiar to them, and to really engage in the discussion, ask great questions with ultimately the goal of making pursuable and actionable recommendations. And I have to commend the committee and all of their contributions to this process, so I echo those thanks. And I will be brief as the hour is late. This slide summarizes our Budget Stabilization Committee meetings, the dates, the number of attendees, and some of the topics that were addressed throughout. And instead of talking about these, I want to show you some of the process or some of the exhibits that we looked at. Things like this. This is total district health and welfare costs and looking at trends. We actually looked beyond 5 years of this, but this is just a portion of some of the exhibits that we reviewed, and looked at the increase or trending costs of health and welfare benefits kind of as a whole. And you see here a 31.4% increase in the last 5 years. Another example, property and liability insurance. The advent of new legislation ultimately resulted in property and liability insurance escalating quickly through things called retroactive assessments for things that Whittier Union were not even engaged in. But when you're part of a property and liability pool, when there are things that hit years in the past, and if you are a part of that pool, you are given those assessments as well. So the advent of AB 218 and retroactive childhood sexual assault claims, really the legislature, and again, absolutely understand the need to address those concerns for students, but really contributed to escalating costs for all public entities. So 88.1% increase over 5 years. And even kind of more stunning, legal costs, right? And although the scope of this cost maybe doesn't have the same gravitas of health and welfare costs over years, the percentage increase we've seen in recent times, cost escalation and kind of the advent of more legal challenges that we've seen, seeing the cost escalation over the last 5 years here really kind of hammers home kind of the things that we're seeing. Now these are just kind of 3 exhibits. We looked at dozens and dozens of exhibits, data and longitudinal expenses, in addition to kind of the foundational enrollment trends, budgetary budget reserves, ending fund balance trends across our district. Really was kind of the fodder for the discussion and ultimate recommendations from the group. So just a few examples. Through the discussion, we had some emerging themes. As we solicited recommendations each meeting, trying to put them into different buckets. And we saw really kind of 3 different buckets of discussions as recommendations. Revenue enhancements, so ways to, how do we increase available resources? Cost reducing measures, so how do we reduce maybe unnecessary costs? And then conversations around reserves. We'll share a little bit about those. Now, I won't read this to you, I'll just point out a few. The first 4 bullets on this page on emerging themes related to revenue enhancements, we're really looking at ways to how do we maximize our enrollment, how do we maximize our average daily attendance with the enrollment that we do have. So some recommendations around that. And lastly, the last bullet, how do we look at receiving more resources through competitive grants? So as you've seen in other portions of the agenda today, competitive electric bus grants, some of the others that we're pursuing, AED machines. We have applied for additional grants through our partnership with California Consulting, CTE grants, right? Looking at that, we've had some discussion around that. In addition to vaping cessation grants as part of that work that we've done with our policy change regarding how we address students who violate drug policy. Some additional emerging themes, again, related to cost reducing measures. I'll just point out a few. Retirement incentive, this was one that was a big topic for a source of many recommendations over the first few meetings. The group was very grateful to the Board of Trustees for pursuing that opportunity for us. I'll point out 2 others. Cost containment for health and welfare benefits. That continues to be a topic that was discussed thoroughly at our Budget Review Committee. It also exists in our Health Benefits Committee. That discussion is an ongoing topic for us. And then the last one on there, exploring energy efficiencies. Again, thank you to the board for your forward thinking on the approval of our solar projects that we will see coming online in the coming years. Some additional themes, again, related to cost saving measures, just to point out a few. Bigger themes of the first bullet, reducing non-essential expenses. The second bullet from the bottom, revisiting or delaying textbook adoptions. The textbooks that you saw this month is the end of a cycle, right? So looking forward, we are prepared to delay and suspend, and gratefully, those were the textbook adoption processes that were in process, had been vetted by our various committees. At this point, we are not anticipating adopting additional textbooks in the next few years. So we're really looking at suspending some of those costs. And then the last one, professional learning. We're looking at a 30% reduction in our summer professional learning expenses related to the number of days that are offered throughout the summer. One of the last, again, emergent themes, looking at existing reserves throughout the district. We did talk a little bit about the utilization of the committed declining enrollment reserve. How could that be used to support some of our budget stress? How do we take stress off of the unrestricted ending fund balance for the purposes of budget adoption? The second bullet as well is a topic to speak briefly about. As part of, as you know, some of our plans are self-insured. So as the insurance company as well, we contribute to our workers' comp fund and our our OPEB, other post-employment, our retiree health and welfare benefits. Looking at, should we look at the way we contribute to that? Should we consider reducing contributions to those reserves in the future in tough budgetary times? Some more examples here related to potential cost savings. These are by no means all of where we are, but just looking at some of the big ones. As we continue to look at our PARS retirement incentive program, and this was an interest of the board, is to ensure that to keep the board updated on how that process is going. Beyond what we already assumed, and some of these statistics are beyond our 19 certificated reductions that we already assumed as part of our budget, our first interim budget. We also anticipate we're performing about $1.1 million better than even our assumptions. On the classified side, $375,000 at this point. These are annual potential savings, or that we would anticipate recognizing. Reallocation of restricted funding. This is appreciate our site principals looking at site budgets, specifically site Title I and site targeted student funds, which are a result of supplemental concentration grant dollars. And how do we utilize those around essential services for students? Particularly, how do we use that to fund our instructional program? And then again, I referenced our summer professional development. Just the reduction, the 30% reduction there is a $200,000 plus dollar proposition for a reduction in which we think will still maintain the integrity of the summer PD program while still reducing. So just for those three examples, we're looking at a $3.2 million ongoing savings, again, over a budget cycle, about $10 million over our 3-year budget cycle. We do have other areas that we're continuing to pursue, and as we gain estimates specifically around those additional information will be brought to the board and incorporated into our future budgets. Specifically, in May, we do what's called an estimated actuals budget recap prior to closing, and then again at closing, which we see in August, and then our reporting of our unaudited actuals. So all of these things continue to be incorporated into them. We will continue to bring reports back to the board regarding savings, and we'll bring updated budgets to the board. There's no action on this, but we'll entertain absolutely any discussion the board may want to have or any questions.
I know that the professional development summer opportunities for our teachers is something that they really have mentioned to us, like that's something that they really look forward to, that they like having that opportunity to do like long-term planning and exchanging of ideas, etc. I know that part of what your report says is that, part of the cut would be like in the food, for example, right, where it's given to them. But in terms of the keeping the quality, are we just looking at less allowable dates versus, is that what you're thinking?
That's correct. Our current practice is, and again, I will tell you, this is a soft practice. Our rule of thumb is a maximum of 10 days per summer for summer professional development. The reality is we haven't held people accountable to that 10 days. It's been, if there's a useful opportunity, we want people to come to that. Very few of our employees have exceeded the 10 days, but there have been some. So really looking at monitoring that to ensure that very few have gone a full 10 days, but there are some. But just restricting from 10 days to 7 days produces, based on last year's usage of summer PD, would reduce cost by about $208,000. And that is a combination of the expense of offering the program as well as the accompanying food.
For our instructional leaders, they're gonna get 3 additional days to go to content week. So those are our course weeks, Michelle? Course weeks will be there. And +1.
Thank you.
And I appreciate Ed Services who really looked at looking ways to tighten the belt while still maintaining the essential summer processes.
Any other comments? Dr. Castillo-Calderas?
Yes, thank you.
Madam President, Mr. Jamar, thank you for this presentation. On behalf of the board, I want to do our part to make sure that we're joining the effort to tighten our belts. One idea for revenue enhancement, more like a question, and then one for the cost reducing measures. So one of my questions is, have we ever considered the possibility of pursuing appropriations earmarks? Because it seemed as if we would be eligible, and the deadline is Friday. It might be a little bit too late for this year.
Special thanks to Mr. Rodriguez who's in the room. We just actually applied for $4 million support. Mr. Rodriguez, want to just tell them about the project?
Thank you, Mr. Rodriguez.
I could have been short. I could have told you this is for the Whittier High School Lights program, or the lights at the Whittier High School athletic field, and submitted the application last Friday, Friday. So I know that's in. We don't anticipate getting the full $4 million, but we were told to ask for twice as much as what we will hope to get.
Congresswoman Sanchez?
Yes.
Okay, excellent.
Oh, perfect.
That's what's wonderful. And then the other opportunity would be through the senators. And I know both Senators Schiff and Padilla are both education friendly, and they're both in Southern California. So I know from my day job how much work it is to submit those proposals, but if you get letters of support and if you submit year after year, your chances increase of being able to get funded.
It's a new arena for us on that, so we're hoping for a good outcome for this first venture there, and hopefully we'll learn how to do it better as we continue to move forward.
Sounds great. Thank you. And then on the category of tightening belts, this is a question for the board. Is there a need, or does it make sense? Because I don't want to restrict us or tie our hands or paint us into a corner, but should we maybe reduce or do our best to reduce legal costs by a certain percentage? Should we have a benchmark that we shoot for over the next year or two? So just a question for us to consider. Thank you.
Just please know that dollar figure is not just board legal costs. These are some board legal costs, but additionally everything from contracts, facilities, construction project, legal fees, all of those things. So, but thank you for the consideration.
Thank you.
Mr. Lopez.
So, the committee, do they have any recommendations?
All of the items that we have here are actually recommendations that were discussed at the board. I will add, there were actually many more recommendations. So part of it was taking discussions. Each meeting, the committee left recommendations. We had a activity, and we had numerous different activities on which they can submit, whether that was online through a Google form, through Post-its left on a poster, through discussions at table talk, etc. So each one of the ideas up here were discussed as part of the committee.
Thank you.
In addition to that, again, we had lots of ideas. Some we found were maybe not as actionable. So it's like, I don't know how that would work. I mean, it's a great idea, but how do you put that into action? There are some that's still in a tickler file that we're still like, okay, how do we get to that one next? But it's trying to address them, and how do you address the larger components of it? Again, the PARS retirement incentive was a large one, right? That generates significant savings while keeping us staffed appropriately. So yes, to answer your question.
So on the emerging themes, revenue enhancements, I'd like to see a number. You know, if we're gonna establish attendance initiatives to address chronic absenteeism, what, I'd like to see maybe a percentage, a number, and it's gonna equate to whatever number or dollar amount, right? So I'd like to see that. And then, same thing with the cost reducing measures, right? And let's see. Now, I agree with Trustee Conchola, a reduction of summer professional development. I think it's super important to continue to be competitive. I don't like to see that number reduced, so I like to continue with that. And then with the workers' comp, do you have an idea how much we're going to be, you know, maybe saving if we reduce self-insurance fund contributions?
There's a range. This was something I think that ultimately the board will have to pass a resolution to make that adjustment. We'll present to the board those figures with any recommendations on percentage. I will tell you right now it's about 5% of payroll, just over 5.09% of payroll is contributed to the self-insurance fund. So the equivalent of about $6 million annually. So recommendations will come on based on need, on what reductions could we do while still being able to pay for our liabilities and obligations that are paid for out of that fund as well.
Thank you. And then finally, hiring frost. Is that a legal term?
It's a term coined by School Services of California, actually, in their presentation. We kind of adopted it and based off of their January presentation. What it refers to is the review of all vacant positions prior to consideration of refilling. Do the positions require refilling or not? So we're not calling it a hiring freeze. It's probably the more common term where no positions are refilled. It really is just more about a process of reviewing positions to identify positions that may not be required to be refilled in consideration for not refilling.
For the general public, I would like to see this, you know, reworded so they can understand what we mean. That's all. Thank you.
Mr. Kevin? All right, and then, am I correct, Jamero, pardon me, that if we want to have a private briefing with you on what the committees, what they've done, the more specifics, we can just make that?
Absolutely. I'm happy to talk in more detail about some of these. Again, I just would caution that some of these items are still in the works, so I don't have working estimates on all of the listed pieces. I brought some as examples. We're continuing to work on that. It's actually a project that is scheduled for later this week as we add some additional items on board.
Thank you. Why don't we move next, since you're still standing, to 1501, approval of the J251 report and second interim financials.
I'll move approval of the J251 report and second interim financials.
Second.
Okay, moved by Dr. Casadeca-Nietos, seconded by Ms. Conchola. Mr. Jamero.
You have 1 minute.
It'll be very short. This is a very familiar format. Again, we have our annual budget cycle. We're at where the arrow is pointing at this point. So we're here at second interim, which is budget update for January 31st. Not much has changed since first interim. Again, this is really reflecting budget changes from when we adopted the budget and our budget adjustments in August. Again, small decline in LCFF funding due to some decline in enrollment above or below projections, I guess is the right word. But with really some supplemental income that we recognize both at first interim and some adjustments since then, resulting in some additional non-LCFF funding from the district this year. Budget assumptions, again, kind of teasing that out. Additional federal funding, again, Title I, as well as the EPA bus grant that we had earlier in the year. Some additional CalShape reimbursement for state revenue, and then an anticipated increase in ASB revenue. So that's where that $6.4 million comes from, is some Again, things that we didn't assume during a budget adoption and the subsequent budget revision. This slide I'll spend just a hair more time on. This demonstrates the difference from where we were at first interim to new assumptions that changed at second interim to where we are now. The blue line was our budget income projections as of first interim. We have a change. The red line indicates where we are as of second interim. So what has changed? We received the January budget release from the governor, at least the proposal, which included some one-time funds that were not included prior to that. So you see a slight bubble in the 26-27 year between the blue line and the red line. That is reflecting new one-time funding we anticipate next year in next year's budget. So it's not impacting our current budget. It is impacting our multi-year projections, though, based on that, which is part of our second interim report. So really, projections for next year, slight change there, about $6 7 million. Income, again, our income and our expenditures, we're still continuing to have deficit spending. This particular bar chart demonstrates that. Again, just to summarize, again, that bottom highlighted section, 6.2 million in increase in one-time revenue for 26-27. That's the major change, is we now include in next year's budget and part of our multi-year projection, the $6.2 million in one-time funding that we spoke about at first interim, but didn't have assumptions about until January. Last but not least, the impact of that does impact our multi-year projection for that one-time money. So we look at our ending fund balance projections, again, making all of our 7% or $7 million minimum reserves or our 3% minimum reserves for current year and the 2 out years based on current projections. Thank you. Following any questions, recommend approval of this report.
All right, any questions from Mr. Jamera?
Questions for me?
When do you think we'll have a better sense of, because what is it, the May revise?
May revision will give us some revised estimates on next year's projections. So really is a continuous working project in progress. May is a definite touch point where we will look at making adjustments proposed by the governor, and then again in June after budget adoption.
And we have heard some encouraging news that the revenues for the state have been above projections.
So we're hopeful that that may show up specifically in revenue that we can assume in our budgets. And again, that's part of the challenge, is making those assumptions based on one-time money that we don't know about a year from now, or 2 years from now, or 3 years from now. That's been part of the challenge.
I think we have one thing in our favor, is that Monique Limon, the Senate Pro Tem, is very much in support of education, and I think she's nudging the governor, so we'll keep our fingers crossed.
All right, if there's no further questions, let me call the question. All those in favor of approving the J251 report and second interim financials for the 25-26 school year, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Passes 5-0. Okay, let's go to 1502. Consider approval of Whittier Union High School District representatives to the Rio Hondo Region Adult Education Consortium. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Dr. Castaneda, seconded by Ms. Conchola. Gee, who are we going to appoint?
Yes, was our recommendation to replace Dr. Moriarty on that.
All right. Any questions, comments about appointing Mr. Rodriguez? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes 5-0. All right, next item, 1503. I had put this on the agenda because I had meant to put it on the agenda the month before. But can I have a motion to, well, let me actually approve and select. It kind of has a weird way it's written. Let me actually, I think on this one I have to have discussion first.
I'll make a motion for her to begin discussion.
I'm trying to figure out what the motion is.
Oh.
So is the motion approval to select 2 board members to form the subcommittee? I'll I'll leave it as that.
Maybe we should
Do I have a
open the
motion
floor.
to consider, to approve 2 board members to form a subcommittee to review board policy 7310?
Yes, I'll move to consider approval.
Second.
All right, now you've got this motion to second it. All right, so this is a discussion. Mr. Mendez and I started this process last year. It got rushed. We adopted a policy that ended up being, quite frankly, very difficult to follow because it ended up mixing board policy and administrative regulations. And after we had a couple of, I'll call it challenges in implementing the policy, because I think we all realized maybe it got a little too political, or it made it very difficult for our staff. We've decided that we're going to go back to form a subcommittee to look at this policy. And I believe Mr. Lopez is interested, and I am
definitely.
interested. So, but obviously, is anyone else interested in working on that policy? As
I
part of
have
the subcommittee?
full faith and trust in your collective leadership.
Okay, all right, all right. So then, if I can do a friendly amendment, and that is that the amendment would be to approve Mr. Lopez and Ms. Rodriguez Moisa as a subcommittee to review board policy 7310. A friendly amendment?
I'll second.
Mr.
Oh, thanks.
Okay, we have a second. All right, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Passes 5-0. Our next item is the vote for the updated California School Boards Association Delegate Assembly Representatives. So despite our
Motion
best
to
efforts-
approve.
All right, a motion to approve, and it looks like we can vote for 6 people.
Yeah.
And there's only 6 people on the list. Any interest in submitting a written nomination? No, I'm kidding. I don't want to mess it up. Hold on. All right, so the motion's been made to submit our 6 ballots for the 6 individuals listed in the minutes. Contreras, Mr. Contreras, Ms. Mejia, Mr. Conde, Ms. Mignano, Ms. Phillips, and Ms. Solomon Saldana. Is there a second?
Second.
All right, any further discussion? All right, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? It passes 5-0. Now we go to 1505, consider approval of personnel report.
We're recommending approval of the personnel report, and if you'll note, all of the retirees and names are now listed in 37 classified and 21 certificate.
And no riffs. That's something to be great.
All right, do I have a motion to approve the personnel report?
So moved.
Moved by Ms. Conchola, seconded by Ms. Dr. Castaneda Calleros. Any other discussion? All right, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Passes 5-0. Okay, now we move to section item 16. Is there anyone who would like to publicly discuss future topics they'd like to discuss? They can always, of course, talk to me or Dr. Oviedo. Yes, Dr. Castaneda Calleros.
Yes, earlier this evening, my colleague, Mr. Lopez, expressed an interest in some type of survey, creating or deploying a survey to our local businesses to see if there's any traction or more attraction for the older nomenclature of the valedictorian and salutatorian, and if that has any sort of bearing on their likelihood of being employed. And I'm in favor of that at some point. I don't know if that requires agendizing but I just wanted to publicly support that.
Okay. Any other?
I'm interested in now that we have an amazing Santa Fe El Dorado Mariachi, finding out like an exploratory having an exploratory conversation about what implementing other mariachis at other schools would look like, what the cost factor would be, etc.
Anything else? I think I have an interest in having a presentation made about the new athletic alignments that are going to be coming up for our schools and where they're competing, but that's not a rush. I just would like to get the presentation. And I have one other item, but I'll talk about it. I can't remember what my notes are. along the lines of Mr. Rivera's comments about Pioneer High School, is getting a sense of the, what we're doing, and obviously if we're going into some budgetary issues, but to invest in the, what do you call it, the curb appeal of our schools. That's kind of a topic down the road, I think. Okay.
Can I add one more?
Yeah.
I'm interested in also hearing about like our parents component of the work at our schools. You know, we've had information about students and how they're doing and academically and such. And, but I'm also interested in, you know, what does it look like in terms of our parent leadership development? How are they engaged? Are there opportunities for us to expand on the engagement with our parents and guardians?
Thank you. Okay, it looks like we have a very busy rest of the calendar year. All right, now, anything else? I apologize, I didn't mean to cut anybody off. No? All right. So I think with that, we will adjourn into closed session. For the two people remaining, just remind you that the next meeting is this Saturday, March 14th, and then obviously April 7th. So at this point, we'll adjourn into closed session. Great.
Always the last three scans.
I hope he's on the lawn. You checked that side.
We'll leave this out.
All right, and cut.